To another live stream, another tattoo critique. Only like the title entails, this might be the end for a little while because, well, we're going to be changing things up a bit here on the Sunday night lives because I know that, I'm already muted over there. That's great. Because sometimes it gets a little bit old on a Sunday to do the same thing all the time. We want to bring in some more topics. We want to do some other stuff. We want to get some more community, some more engagement, some more, just some other things going on. So, what we're going to do in combination with Andy's channel is we're going to mix it up a little bit. All right. We're going to check out your emails, your tattoos today. But next week, we're going to be starting another series where we take on some other topics. So next week, this is just our main topic for next week. It's going to be, what are the basics you need here in 2023 to start tattooing? And we want to talk to you guys about it. We want to talk to the chat about it. We want to come together and discuss, what do you really need to get into tattooing? What don't you need? What's some stuff that you can look on the horizon and go, okay, I'm going to get that later down the road, depending upon the situation. So that's next week. But again, later this week. So our midweek stream is over on Andy B's channel. Okay, I got him waiting. He's going to be coming in here to talk a little bit more with us. But our midweek stream over on Andy B's channel this week coming up is we are also for this week. So we're looking at your work today. We're critiquing your work today, and we're going to be critiquing your work on Andy's channel as well. Now it's a little bit smaller of a community over there. So we're going to spend a little bit more time on each piece. It's going to give us the opportunity to really go into a bit more detail. And the best part about that is you don't have to send your work in live to him to have it reviewed on his channel. We're going to look at your work on his channel, and you're going to send your work to this email address right here. You can send your work there today. You can send your work there tomorrow. You can send it whenever you want. But come Wednesday or Thursday, when we go live on Andy's channel, we're going to go open this email address up, and we're going to take a look at your guys' work. And we're going to spend a little bit more time, assuming there'll be a few less emails to go through, right? And so me and Andy are going to go back and forth between some critiquing your work here, critiquing your work there, having a topic here, having a topic there, just change stuff up a little bit. So while it might not be the last one we do here, it's going to be the last one we do for a few weeks here. This live stream will be every Sunday, but we will be talking about various topics. I'm passionate about tattooing, passionate about having some fun. I want to engage with you guys a bit more here on this channel and talk about stuff that you guys want to talk about. Sometimes it can feel like a broken record telling you guys the same stuff over and over about lines and shading and color packing and saturation. So why not really go into detail about these things in a time where we can actually discuss this stuff together? So that's the bulk of what's going on here. I don't mean to get you change things up too much. I do want to get with the program. We do want to jump over there and take a look at your guys' work. If you want to send your work in right now to have it reviewed on the channel live, send it to the email scrolling at the bottom of the screen. That's artmesomething@gmail.com. And we're going to take a look at your work here live on the channel. I got Andy waiting in the shadows over there, hiding out. He'll be jumping in with us in just a minute, guys. But again, send your work to the email scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Also, if you want to support my whatever journey here, guys, right here, you can go check my account out over at daveinks.88 on Instagram and Death Punch Inc. on Facebook. Just made a new post today for a good friend of mine. Go check that out. Show it some love. It's Fallen Soldier Memorial piece. But anyhow, all right, guys, with that being said, again, send your work to the email scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Also, go subscribe to Andy B's channel, _tattoo_studio. Go subscribe to his channel so that you guys are ready when we go live on Wednesday or Thursday. Also, one last time, I'll repeat it one last time, send your work to this email address if you want it reviewed on Andy's channel later this week. Or if you're working on something now, send it there when you're done, and we'll check it out midweek. So I hope this isn't too confusing. I know I got a lot of information going at you guys, but Let's pull Andy in. Bam.
Hey, I'm in.
What is going on, Andy? How are we? Did we hit everything right? Did I miss
Yeah,
anything?
we hit everything right. Obviously, just a coup. I mean, Jeremy, what's YouTube link? Eyelashes.com, Jeremy. No, it's the, like Dave says, it's the _tattoo_studio is my channel. You go over there. Like you said, Dave, they can send emails across bottom of the screen, just mixing it up, send your work in. And I think you pretty much covered it, didn't you? Hopefully, we'll spend a bit more time, on people's critique, and then we can have a few Q&As and banter and bullshit, on yours on a Sunday night. Mix it up,
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. Mix it up a little bit. Yeah, like I said, next Sunday we're not gonna be doing a critiquing your work. So if you want to get your stuff checked out after today for the next week or two, you're gonna want to send it to Andy's email address. And again, that's this one I just clicked over right now with the red circles on each side, critiquemytattoo@gmail.com. So after today, send your work there, unless you see in 2 weeks from now, we'll be live again here critiquing your work, but we're going to take a couple weeks and cover a couple topics and take a look at your work over on Andy's channel at the email scrolling at the bottom of the screen where you want to send your work to be reviewed at Andy's channel.
Yeah, it may have been, I don't know whether you can, Dave. It may have been prevalent. It may have been for a few of them, and I know you've done it on yours. I didn't know whether you could put a link, just put name at channel, scrolling.
Yeah, let me do that right now.
Just what other email? Because there'll be a few asking.
Yep, I'm going to put it next to the email address. So that's going to be underscore.
Yeah. It'll just serve as repeating itself, over and over again.
Okay, there you go. So the Tattoo Studio is Andy's YouTube channel. The _tattoo is just scrolling at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Jump over there, hit subscribe, turn the bell on, whatever you guys want to do, because we will go live Wednesday or Thursday night is what we're trying to do each week.
Yep.
And then also send your work to that email address. If you want your stuff to get checked out midweek, spend a little bit more time on it. It's a little bit more, I'll call it intimate over there, which is great. And so that will allow us to do some other stuff here occasionally.
What I've done as well is I've managed how to block people, Dave, as well. So like I say, like Danik and stuff like that, you know what I mean? We can go, mute. Well, it's not block, it's mute. We can mute Danik now, you know what I mean? And,
thank goodness, man. Thank goodness.
No, only kidding.
Well, I'm going to run over here and say hi to everybody. We got Tibbert's World in the house. Smoke, as always, man. Good to see you again. We got Jason, a.k.a. Mary Rouser, but we know who's there. Q&A with Danik is going to be a nightmare. Absolutely will, but I think it'll be more funny than anything. Danik, thank you for being here, man. I'm pretty sure Danik's got to be working, but he's hanging out here. Again, guys, get your work in to the email scrolling at the bottom of the screen. And here in about 5 minutes, we're going to take a look at your work here live on the channel, as we always do. We got BCHOMPZ1. I figured I better spell it than read it because I'll butcher it. B-Chomps. That was probably it. Greetings, man. Thanks for being here. Brian Dew. Hey, here, my teacher. What is going on? Brian, did you say you were up in my area recently? Awesome. Alicia Luce, you can happily see yourself out of the chat. Thank you for being here.
No, she's got to be here to keep you in check, Dave.
Right. Yeah, Brian. Oh, Bent Motion. I was up in your area today, Dave. Just lived down in Carrollton. Right on, man. Well, next time you're in this area, hit me up. Well, even though it's Sunday, I don't work on Sundays, even though we do this live stream. Jeremy, what is going on? Andy's YouTube channel, we did have it popped up below. We'll pop it up here and there. Again, it's the Tattoo Studio _ in between the and tattoo. Again, Danik, Mike Parrish, what is going on, man? Thanks for being here. Who else we got? That's everybody who's in the chat. No, we got Gerald, Justin, got some new faces. Dick Johnson.
Reaper.
You can send your stuff in now, man.
We've got Reaper Company 13, Sam Harding.
Yes. Guys, get in the chat. Get to talking. Bradley, what's going on, man? Good to have you. Reaper, good afternoon. Yes. Hang out here, guys. So another thing we're going to be doing new-ish today, we're going to do a lot more of this on Andy's channel, so hang out over there, please, is we're going to lean a little bit harder on you guys. We're going to pull up work. We've been doing this for a long time, about a year now. So we're going to pull up somebody's work before we're going to slowly go through it, let you take a look at it. Get in the chat and tell us what you think before we say anything. That way, I want to hear what you guys think as well. And then Andy and I will give our thoughts as well. But we're definitely going to lean into more of that on Andy's channel.
I think as well.
What you got over there, Andy?
No, I think just, Jason, a.k.a. Mary, or Mary, a.k.a. Jason. Yeah, how about we just call him Mason?
Mason.
We'll just call him Mason. We can cross the two names. We'll just give him his own name. We'll call him Mason.
Your mom and dad didn't do it right. We'll fix it for you. You're Mason now. You're Mason. I like it. Okay. Well, I did want to take a look at this here, Andy. Let me move some screens around over here. That's better. Let me find that. Good. We got some work coming in, guys. Thanks for sending your work, and we'll be checking that out here just shortly. This is a sad mistake. This was a bad choice by the artist to take on this piece. There was little to no effort put into comprehending what they were looking at. There was obviously nothing done on the front end to draw this out. If they did and it was approved by them and the client, then I guess you get what you get. But remember, if the drawing doesn't look good, the tattoo is not somehow going to look better. It's just not going to happen. So this is a mega fail here. I can't even believe these are supposed to be the same things or two of the same. I have no idea, guys, what happened here. Let me know what happened here, Andy. We know you were
got away from me.
Who brought this? Somebody brought this to you, Andy. You took this on. My goodness.
That's it. What it wanted. I tried a different stencil solution. Somebody says use speed stick, so I tried a bit of speed stick on this. And unfortunately, it smelled nice, but it just kept wiping off. So I had no option but just to freestyle it.
Yeah, you spent too long sniffing the arm and less time.
Yeah,
staring at the reference, huh?
I think it were vapors off speed stick were making my eyes water, and just got a little bit away from me. But don't you think I did a good job at script on his forehead, though?
I think that's fantastic, and I think
that's the masterpiece.
Yeah, I think that it's really good that we focus in on what you did well here, Andy.
Yeah.
I mean, those noodle hairs, it's a lot of lines there, man. Steady hand. I don't know. Okay, but for real though, what's going on underneath the eyes? I mean, obviously, I know, Andy, this isn't yours for the people that are like, what? I just don't understand what would drive a person to think, are those supposed to be dark tears or shading? Jared Mallard. Hey, Jared. This is the guy we put the latest tattoo on. Good friend of mine, Jared Mallory.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Let me make sure I got other text.
Looks more like a jailhouse tat.
Looks more like a jailhouse tat.
I've seen better jailhouse tats.
Yeah, that's true too. That's disrespecting the jailhouse tattooers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
It's. I tell you what, though. I mean it's really got that hair cream on. He's really managed to capture that slicked back look, though, hasn't he? With plenty of hair cream on. All right, I said it's proper slicked back and glued to his head. Is that hair?
It's so smooth. It's so smooth that it has become one with his hair. Look at that line coming up around his head. That's the top of his head. That's the hair. It's all flat, all in one. But yeah, so beautiful. I don't know what you were thinking, person, but fake it till you make it, Brian. I mean, he is faking it. I don't even know. This is a long way to make it from here, guys.
Yeah,
it's a long way to make it from here.
Mean,
look at that watch.
I mean, look at them teeth.
Nailed it.
It does it. I don't even know. They're not teeth, are they? You know what I mean? It looks like
those look like
you know
I
when you
don't
look
know,
at top of a
ears or
castle.
something. Oh
You know when you see top of a
yeah.
castle and it goes like that. I mean, give up. There's not even a mouth there. There's no lips. There's no lips but teeth.
Oh man. Oh look at Eugene. He's being awfully kind, man. The watch looks somewhat good, lol. Let's take a look at that watch. Uh-huh. You know, I mean, in all comparison, we know we can look at that and say that's a watch. Yeah, we can do that. But Eugene, I like your kindness, man. Yeah. Jeremy, look at him. This is his moment. He said, "I'm not that bad at portraits. Give me a break." It needs more eyelashes. This one has
Yeah,
no eyelashes,
this
Jeremy.
has
This
got
one
no
has no
eyelashes. This is how you do it, Jeremy.
Oh my gosh.
Just forget them all together.
Yeah. Well, I mean, where'd it go? Oh, it's still on the screen, but I lost it over here. Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, let me close this down too. Sorry, I have stuff on my computer I gotta get rid of. Hopefully I don't mess anything. There we go. Okay. All right, guys. Enough messing around, looking at Andy's work. Give him a break, guys.
That's it.
Somebody was cutting onions right next to me. Could barely see.
That's it. I couldn't say it. I was having a bad day, Dave.
I know. See,
Everybody's allowed a bad day.
You're allowed a bad day, man. You know.
Yeah, it's just one of them things.
Sometimes people want one thing, and you have to give them the complete opposite.
I'm getting a message from Gmail. Said email not found when I'm trying to send my pic.
Ooh, let me make sure. You want to double check it, Andy? Make sure I have it spelt correctly at the bottom of the screen.
Which email, though? Zach Levesque's which email?
Critique my tattoo.
You know what I mean?
Also, guys, give this stream a like if you wouldn't mind. If you're here right now, give the stream a like. Would really appreciate it. Helps the channel out. Also, go jump over, show some love to the IGs and the Facebooks and all the social mumbo jumbo stuff. That's also appreciated if you're here. Follow us on all platforms. We'd like to reach out occasionally and say hi. I am just working a few things out here, guys, and we're going to be jumping in and taking a look at your work here very, very shortly.
Yeah, 900 email addresses, and like I say, Zach, let us know which Gmail that you're trying to send to.
Yeah, Zach, are you trying to? Yeah, exactly. That would be a good one. But with all things said, I'm going to jump into this. We're going to start off with Michael here. It looks like we got some fake skin. I'm going to pull it up on the screen right. Oh, hang on. Let me make a quick modification here. 1 second, guys. Seems like nothing ever goes the way I want it to. No surprise. Let me get rid of some stuff. Bam. Thanks for hanging with me. Hope you guys had a good Sunday. I had a good church service today. Always a good one. All right, here we go. Bam. All right, so we're going to kick this thing off with Michael. He says, hello again. It's me, Mike. Today I finished the one from last week. Here it is. Just give me some advice. All right, we will give you some advice. Mike, what do you guys think here? All right, let me check. Aha. Okay. This was last week's. If you were here last week, you remember we were talking about how it definitely looked unfinished, but it had a lot of potential. Again, we are going to be checking out your comments. You in the chat, jump over there, put your mambo jambo over there, and give us an idea what you guys see, because all 45 eyes see more than me and Andy. And we'll let you know our thoughts at the end as well. But I want to hear from you guys. So I'm going to slowly roll up or down this thing. We're going to be looking at lines, packing, shading techniques. Let me know what you are thinking. I wonder what kind of fake skin this is again. This looks like it might be a decent fake skin, actually.
Be a decent fake skin, or if not, it looks to be a thicker quality.
Yeah.
Or a good mid-range. Do you know what I mean, Dave?
Yeah.
A decent mid-range TV skin. Oh, I'm having a brain meltdown.
Oh, that's good. That's good. All right. What do we think, guys? I'm going to zoom out a little bit, give you a full look at this bad Larry right here. Okay. We're starting off with Layla says, very nice. I like that. I like that. Got to go to work shortly. Can you or Andy make sure I get Andy's link? Link, there's an email address. You got to go to the email address. Looks
there's an
flat.
email address, and basically then just go find my channel, which is the _tattoo_studio. Dave will be scrolling. You can watch this back because Dave will be periodically scrolling it underneath his screen.
Yep.
So all information probably will be on playback on this at some point. It keeps popping up every so often.
That's a good point. Just once it's over, jump back on here, watch it back. You'll see that email address when I brought it up, and I'll bring it up again in a little bit.
Yep.
Okay, so Jeremy saying it's looking a little flat. Okay, all right. Yep. I like it. Think line works. What does it say? Liners are hard to use.
Liners are hard to use as well.
Yeah. Yep. Not bad. Lines could use a little work. I think that I agree with you here and there for sure. I mean, you want to get it as perfect as you can on fake skin, right? So it's only going to get harder on human skin. Wes says he would wear it. I agree. I think this is a wearable tattoo. I think it has some things that would definitely need to get buttoned up, but for practicing, we're not doing too bad. All right, Bradley says, I like this goal. It gets muddy for me at the top of the handle of the sword. Okay, I do see what you are saying, my friend. Let's see.
I do, but I mean, there's
critiques on Andy's channel. Andy, they're going to be starting what this week, right? Wednesday or Thursday?
Yep.
And this is, I will put your stuff up right now. So again, I just switched it at the bottom of the screen. If you guys need to go subscribe to Andy's channel, the_tattoo_studio, subscribe, ring the bell, and then that email address that's right next to that, that is the email address you guys want to send your work to. You can send it there anytime. So here on this channel, we only check out your guys' stuff live, but when we go live on Andy's channel, we're going to be looking at your guys' work for the past few days. So starting today up until Wednesday or Thursday, we're going to open up that email address and go through them and take a look at them in better detail. If assuming a bunch of random things. But anyhow, that's what we're going to do. And then next week on this channel, we're going to be talking about the basics of what you actually need to get in tattooing. And I want to hear from you guys. We're going to talk about this subject. It's definitely debatable. It's definitely like we think you need this, you don't need that. Oh, you should, you could, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to be talking about that next week.
It's like we've said that there's a difference as well between what you'd actually need if you was just practicing on fake skin as to what you'll need if you're actually going to run on human skin.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That is true. Right. I'm probably gonna. Some people said they dig the flowers pop with bigger handle. I like the saturation should be lighter so he can go up further in the forehead. I see. Maybe a few more cracks in the skull to fill the empty space. I like that a lot, Danik. I definitely agree with that, especially like up in here where they don't even have, the lines don't even have to come all the way down, but kind of like they have right here, these little bit of texture marks would be awesome right up through here. And I also agree that somebody said it, the saturation's a little lacking. And that would help if you really slow it down, really saturate that color in there. And then if you want it to be lighter, use lighter tone as you go up or whatnot. So what do you think, Andy?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of transitional issues. I mean, generally it's okay. And going down right road, there's some nice little drop shadows. It's trying to get under some of the leaves, higher up on the skull. What I would like to have seen, the transitions between the blacks and the lighter shading in the eye sockets.
Yeah.
The left eye, for me, seems to be a bit better transitioned from dark to light than the right eye. The right eye looks a bit uniform, but as if it had been lined and I finished at that line.
Yeah.
Whereas it could have been softened out. And I understand this person is still learning. We critiqued the line work last week, so I'm going to stay away. The colour work, I can still see in the darker browns, There's a few holidays.
Right.
But what you need to do is, like we've said before, try use 3 colours. Big enough separation. Try use 3 colours to give it that bit of depth. And you just need to work on your solid colour packing or your soft transition. Excuse me, your soft transitions between your browns to your yellows and everything. And that, because in some areas where it should be soft, you can still see there's half. There's it's still a bit stiff. There's not enough flow and not enough. It doesn't transition smooth enough.
Yeah, it's a bit harsh.
Yeah, and in the dark brown, it'd have been nice if you run from a dark brown to a lighter brown or something that were 2 shades lighter. And in the yellows, you'd have maybe gone from, even if you'd have put a green in at the back of it and then run out to your golden yellow. I think that may have just, made it that little bit more dynamic within the leaves, shall we say.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Definitely needs a little bit more. They're very flat. The leaves aren't adding. It's a little bit of color, but it's not really doing much. I agree with everything. Final statement I would say is just maybe you're trying to get a bit of texture even in the dark, and if that's the case, then you got it. But if not, I would just try to saturate that blacks just a little more solid. I like the eye area. That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, this is he's done black and grey with 5 round liner, coloured in with a 7 round shader and a 7 and a 9 round mag. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, all that colour could have just been straight up done with a 9 round mag.
Yeah, for sure.
And it wouldn't have mattered too much if you'd have put your lighter in to start with and it'd have blended across into areas of the darker brown, because you'd have put the darker brown in, it would have gone over the top of it. You might have had a soft bleed out in between, but it'd have looked good. It just, I tell you what though, 5 round liner to do all that shading. I think what has tried to go for them by the sound of using 5 round liner is a stipple shade.
Yeah.
Not quite. If that's the case, it's not quite come off. It's more ended up like a whip shade than a stipple shade.
Right.
But that's just something to work on.
Right, Sean. Well, first one down. Let's jump in and take a look at the next piece on the list. This is from Peter. He says, "Hi, Dave. Here are a few of my recent work. Would love to hear what you think about it." And I always forget to start the video off by letting people know, please only send up to 3 images. That way we can get through as many people as we can. And again, these are just opinions, thoughts. Take it all with a grain of salt. Maybe you walk away going, they didn't help me at all. Well, that might happen, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It might just be like they just mambered a bunch. That might just happen. So please keep your expectations in check. Okay, this is cool from here.
Oh, cool.
This is extremely readable, man. You got the little girl. Yeah. She's
First impressions on this. Boom. Looks sweet. Readable. Nice piece with this one. And it's quite a novel piece, actually. I don't think I've ever really sort of like, I might be wrong. I've personally not sort of like seen this piece before. Yeah. And it reads nice use of colours, nice use of tones, nice use of open space.
What do you think about them? What do you think about them eyelashes, though, Andy? I mean, it's a lot of eyelash.
It is, but I like it. I like it.
I do too. I'm just joking.
I really like it, Jeremy. Do you like it, Jeremy?
Yeah. I like this piece. It's an interesting way they did this, though. It's like it'll probably hold pretty well because there's actually quite a bit of lineage, in areas where I may have tried to find ways to not put such harsh lines. They did, but it works though, because I love the way they got the little bit in the face here. The bear's got some texture to it. It reads really well. They got away with it reads as more with less. They did less, but got more out of it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because, we have just little bits here and there, but they give us the impression of nicely done steps. Like you look at this handrail and we think, wow, look at the detail. You get close and it's not as much as you actually think. So this person knows tattoo what you see, you know what I mean? Because it's going to read right when it's done. The eye, the same thing. I like the detail in the eye. I think the white was put in the right spots to really accent things. The handle, her hair. Yeah, it's cool. Again, like I said, if two different people were to do this tattoo, if I were to do the same, I'm looking at the reference, it would look different. But I like how they did it personally. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of texture and a lot of detail without being overcomplicated,
Yeah.
and your brain and your eye fills the rest of it in for you, and makes it read. And I really do love the inside of the eyeball, you know, with the different around the pupil and the iris and everything. It's nicely done. The little girl, the teddy bear, like you said, there's enough texture in it. There's enough to read that when you get far enough in, they captured that. You look at the reference on the left-hand side, which you can just see behind the picture. You look at the girl's eye, and this little curl of hair, and the side of the nose where it goes up to the bear. And then you look across to the right, your eye fills it in. It's like, God damn, that's pretty much, you know, as it looks, and everything. And I really do like this piece, and I think this person has done a really, really good job of this piece.
I think they did too. And like I said, it's like done in a way that like I wouldn't normally. I don't know. Like I guess we only have ourselves to compare stuff to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm just clicking on people's comments over here. Overall, guys, we got people like it, a little spider webby, maybe the eyelashes are a little something, but overall, it seems like the overall census is, you know, nicely done. But again, it's cool to see this stuff because like I said, I find I would see myself doing things a little differently, a little harsh on the lineage, like pulling back a bit on the hard lines. But oddly enough, it works in this way, so it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. Works.
They put detail where he needed it, though. You know.
Yeah, and the style that is used, obviously, it's his own style.
Yeah,
and it's quite a loose. Shall we say it's quite a loose, sketchily style? You know.
Yeah, it is.
Not how can you put it? It's not a fundamentals based tattoo. Hard, solid lines. This, that, and other. These lines have got to be, to pull this off. These lines have not got to be crisp, because if they were super crisp, they draw your eye to it like that on one part. You know what I mean? And it'd look out of place. This is supposed to give that sort of like fuzzily drawn photo characteristic type thing. And if somewhere in this were completely drilled in, super solid, it'd stand out and out of place. It'd just be way out of place and out of context on this piece.
Yeah, nicely done. Let's take a look at the next piece. Oh, wow. That is sweet. I just, my first impressions, are like, wow, super cool. I like, and I'm always quick to just start running my mouth, but I like the background behind this coil over, I guess I'll call it. The fact that they have like depth in there and they didn't just leave it completely black back there. It's like this, you can reach in there and it's like, feels like it's hollow in there. There's stuff in there.
Yeah.
But I like their skin breaks. Those are cool. And the color is nice. I like this piece. And what a great way to cover up an old tattoo.
Yeah, it's
really, really slick. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Andy, if you want to throw anything in, go ahead. I'm just going to glance over at the chat and start throwing.
This is such a cool piece. I've wanted to do one of these for ages. Never had a chance. It's totally readable. Dave, I'm with you. I always use the blues, the lighter blues. I always got on the coil spring. I always got that white highlight just to give you that glint. But then what I really do like is back the piston. He's got the darks. He's got the greys. He's got the glints on that. But then you come up to the adjustable part of the shocker where he's not fully lined it. He's just give them bits of lines across to give that thread, and then he's got blacks, he's got dark greys, he's got whites in, and this is
and he's got a little outline around it. You know what I mean? He's got a little solid line that's going to hold it. It's going to separate things.
And like you said, the background. I always done the background for the ripped skin. Feels like that you could put your hand in and actually grab.
Yeah,
that shocker. You know, do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's not flat. It's giving dimension. There's probably there's at least two, maybe three, four colors in that background.
Yeah, yeah, and the blues, there's several variations of blue in here, but it didn't get too wild. The other thing I like here is the ability to get that metal look. And if you look, I mean, it's just the variations in the gray, you know, it's looking at the image and going, that's this tone of gray, that's this tone of gray, this is going to be light. These are opaque grays they're using, obviously, and you really get it, especially down here. You get this like chromish feel just by using this like dark gray, white pop, black where it needs to be black, and the deep blue back here coming around to this little, like, this person's following the reference very tightly, and it shows. It shows white's in the right spot. I like this tattoo. I would love to do this tattoo. So again, yeah, beating a dead horse here, but they didn't go ahead and like line every single one of those threads. They, you know, looking at the reference, put it where it needs to go.
Yeah.
So important to follow that reference. Everything you need to know. It's like a cheat sheet. Follow the reference. It's
let your brain fill the rest of it in.
Right. Let's see. So we got Rob saying crazy detailed. That's spot on. Let's see. What do we got? Anonymous says, don't beat me up. Too bad. My arts has been a nonstop for ages. So good. We're going to get the good with the medium, you know, with speed. Instead of getting bummed by like, man, that's really nice, I'm never going to get there. You will get there if you keep working at it. You will, but you have to keep pushing and let this sort of stuff encourage you. Go, wow, all right, cool, you know, nice.
Yeah, we'll not even talk about what I covered up.
Yeah, I don't even know where that thing's at. I'm not sure where he hid that at. It's obviously somewhere in here. I guess you can kind of probably see little bits of it. I think I see this right here. He's probably got a lot of it hidden there. The smart thing to do is, you know, if it cover it, but try to, in the open spots, pop highlights and stuff. It'll really mess with the eye and disguise it. And they disguised it very well. Very well. So, yeah. Can't wait to be able to do this. I mean, definitely a lot of people digging it, and I do too. Let's take a look at the next piece.
Oh,
nice. Very nice. Very nice. It's a very cool to see multiple pieces here. See the it come along here, the progression. I really like that they left the forehead pretty open, I guess. That's kind of where the light's hitting it, trickling down. We got a little bit here. Lips look good, just the right amount of highlight there. Even like the bottom here, we have this sort of like thing going on. The hair, I feel like it's not 100% like realistic, but I hate doing hair, so I can never really get too nitpicky on hair. It works for this piece. I think it's nicely done.
It's nice. It's slick, and I like this. And I just always put them couple of tones on outside from a darker one to a really, really light one around top of hair, so you don't have to run a harsh line around it. This little, I always captured little Cupid's bow at top of lip, dark on one side. You know, I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
Eyes just got that little bit of a grey shading just underneath the eyeball. Glint, dark round. It is what it is. I mean, it's clean. Somebody's going to love wearing this.
Yeah.
They're going to absolutely love wearing this. And I hope whoever's got it has taken care of it healing, you know, while it's healing. And not just abused it while it's healing, because it's a nice piece.
What was smart here is the separation. This little highlight right here helps separate the neck from the chin. Very important, in my opinion. And then this rim light going around, or whatever you want to call it, around the outside there, you know, smartly taking the time, saving that space. What you don't want to do is just trying to, like, when you're done, blast over your black and gray areas with a white highlight. It's best to kind of, in these cases, think ahead, know where you're going to put that highlight, so you can leave that spot kind of open, so that white pops even better there. Yeah, I think under the neck needs to be your darkest area, and it looks pretty dark under there, just to get a little bit more separation from neck to face. But nice stuff, man. And finally, we're ending on this piece here. Let's get in here and take a look. Yep. Not too bad. I really like that nose and those highlights on the nose. This is nice. This is a rough area to work in here. So Good on you. I'm imagining this isn't meant to be crisp and perfect and all that jazz. It's kind of maybe blurred slightly in the fur a little bit. Of course, it's always hard to know exactly what they were going for, but that's the feel I get. It kind of feels like the fur is supposed to be mingling in with the design here. I'm not sure what's up here, Andy. Do you know what this is going on up here? Is that a claw mark or something? I'm a bit confused.
I don't know what that is. I don't know whether it's supposed to be like either a reaper or an angel. It just looks like a wing that goes up. I'm not right sure. But again, it's a nice piece. Again, it's readable.
Yeah.
And I'm sure whoever's had this done, this thing, you can, like you say, it's not the best place. And as you can see in the photo, when you get in, it's quite. The bloke whoever's had this done, the skin pores higher up on his arm are quite large as well. So that's, you can see, so that's affecting it. All that comes into play. But generally, it is a nice piece. I'm just not right sure what's going on at the top.
I don't know either. Part of me almost sees like a horse face sideways. Maybe that's the eye and the nose is coming down. Maybe an ear.
Oh yeah, it could be a horse.
I don't know though, because it's that's the tricky part sometimes is trying to keep things.
Yeah, it could be a horse.
It's a crow. Someone's saying maybe there's a crow. Yeah, maybe that's unfortunately. There's so many really nice pieces here. I'll have to give him a pass on this one and just assume that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like this was nice. This was nice.
Yeah,
was, in different styles.
You can't take away that this person definitely knows how to put it together.
Yeah.
And everything.
So nice job, man. Hey, thanks, Peter.
Really well done.
Yeah, nice work, man. Thanks for sending in, letting us hang out, take a look at the stuff there. Yeah, Rob is saying it was turn left. Crow's head. All right. Somebody's saying they can't find your channel, Andy. I'm going to throw it up at the bottom of the screen, guys. So Pommy111 says they can't find Andy's channel. All right. Right here at the bottom of the screen, I just switched it over now. You'll see _tattoo_studio. That's Andy's YouTube channel. You got to type it in just like that into YouTube, and then you'll find it. And then the email address right next to that is critiquemytattoo@gmail.com. That's where you want to send your emails with your tattoo work, like we're doing right now. But maybe you don't want to. You can send it any time from now till then. That's the difference here. We're going to take a look at it either on Wednesday or Thursday, and that's over on Andy's channel. So make sure you subscribe, send your work there, because we're going to look at it on his channel this week.
That was it. Next Sunday on Dave's channel, it's no critique. It's Q&As. And how can you put it there? It's Q&As and more of a loose, laid back, approach.
Yeah, we're gonna have a discussion about what are the basic stuff that you need to get into tattooing, and what are some of the things that you might want to put on your radar to get down the road as you progress. Because obviously, what do you need to get into this? Trying to test the waters out, you know what I mean? We want to discuss it between me and Andy, and discuss it with you guys, give our thoughts, hear your thoughts, and maybe people watching can kind of get a well-rounded idea of what they might want, need, Vice hearing it just from me, Vice hearing it just from Andy, Vice hearing it from their friends. They can get, 50, 60 people together, have that conversation. So those are the kind of things we're going to be doing here a little bit moving forward, and we're going to mix up the tattoo critiques between my channel and Andy's. So again, the email's going on at the bottom screen, critiquemytattoo@gmail.com. That's Andy's email address. Send your work there for this week, Wednesday and Thursday. We will be taking a look at it, and then go subscribe, The Tattoo Studio. Okay, I'm gonna switch it back over now to.
Well, like I said, go subscribe. Otherwise, like they say, snooze you lose.
Let's see. Your kids want to join in? They can absolutely join in. All right, so let's get back to it. We got to burp and drink coffee. I'm actually kind of tired, guys, but getting it together here. Andy's telling me I need to take magnesium?
Yeah, I've been on it for 2 weeks, mate. Jesus, couldn't stop me today. Honestly, I felt like a 21-year-old again.
My God, that's ages ago.
It is.
We're not getting back into that.
We can't get that. Bloody hell. Before Danica or Smoke or any other say, yeah. When I was 21, we were still writing on slates, with bits of chalk. And there were no TV.
Yeah.
But
those poor old days, before cars, and there was all the kids just played with rocks and sticks and nothing. Didn't even have crayons. Tattoo Critique, thanks for everything, dude. Good luck with your next chapter. Thank you, man. I'm getting ready for it. It's coming sooner. We'll see what happens, but yeah. If you guys are in Texas and you're interested in getting tattooed around August, September timeframe, I'll be there. I'll be moving there. That's the new chapter. I'll let you guys know when I get there. We'll be documenting that and sharing that on the YouTube channel. And yeah, I will be definitely relying on people here, clients. I got to build a whole new client base out in the San Antonio area. So if that's you, if you're in that region or want to support me in any way, get a tattoo out there, I'll be giving you more information the closer that gets. So obviously we're moving around July, August timeframe. Probably take me a few weeks once I get there to get settled up and be in a shop, rent a booth somewhere. Okay, so this is our next person here. I'm going to scroll through this, guys. I want to hear from you guys in the chat. Let me
just nip to top while they're putting in chat. Let me just nip to toilet.
Oh, you got it in there.
Yeah.
Oh, Andy's going. Did you go in the restroom, Andy? I think he told me. I didn't hear. Gives you a reason to visit Texas. Yeah, please, man. Check Texas out, man. It's actually really nice down there. Okay, so this is our piece, guys. Let me know what you think. I think somebody else has already said it looks unfinished. I'm with you, man. And I'm with you, but I want to know what you guys think. What do you think? Some of you guys have been here every week. You've gotten used to looking at tattoos. You know what to look for. And it's best to know. That way you can take a picture of your own work, zoom in on it. You don't want to go too far because then you'll hate every single thing you do forever. But, it's definitely good to look at your flaws and point those out and try to improve as you move forward. So it is med time. Okay, Wes says, what's with the scales? Okay, I definitely see what you're saying there. Yeah, these are the things we want to focus on. I mean, there's only so much that goes into this piece when it comes to a lining perspective, and those scales are like 50-60% of what the eyes are seeing when they look at this, those scales, and they are all over the place as far as consistency. So absolutely, Wes. Let's see, lines, right? There are hit and miss with the lines. I see some that are solid, which tells me this person is in that phase where they're getting it and they're not getting it, right? Some are consistent, some aren't. It's like it's happening, it's not happening. Yeah. Will the lines hold up in that? I don't know. Some of the lines in the scales might not actually. Some of them are pretty light. But the rest of these lines, yeah, they look solid. They really do look solid. Now, there are what appears to be a bit of, it could just be the skin, but this has a little bit of a blue haze to me, kind of looking a little blowout-ish, slightly. There's a few spots here and there. Let's see. We got Kyle says the line work does need quite a bit of work. You need to work on rendering your design better. Find your point A to B and follow through. Right. Like I said, definitely having some lining issues, but some of these are not bad, right? We're assuming we don't know how this person's been tattooing, so we give some level of grace to people. I'm looking at these lines in here saying this person's obviously had a little bit of practice. They're not brand new to it, but it's definitely lacking in consistency in those lines, especially in those scales. Let's see. What else? Yeah, it just looks unfinished, right? All right. So my other thing here too is when we're looking at the dragons, people always kind of have issues when the dragon's bodies turn. This is kind of throwing me off a little bit here. This section, I'm not really sure how this. It almost looks like it goes flat or something, or tees as it turns through and comes back up and around. Little weird areas like that. Shading is kind of hit or miss here. It's there. I see what's going on. It doesn't exactly read really well to me. It doesn't make a ton of sense. But yeah, so let's jump to the next one. All right, guys. So here we have just lines. This person is putting themselves out there. Yeah, they'll get there. Keep up the work. Yes. Let's take a look. Okay, guys, you let me know again your thoughts here. I'm going to slowly zoom through this. You tell me in the chat, what do you think about this? What do you think? I'm going to give you my thoughts here in just a moment. All right, we got Tibbert saying, I like the line work. Yeah, you know what? Especially up in this region, this is probably more of the better area. This butterfly is actually, in my opinion, pretty freaking smooth. They went with a decent sized liner. They didn't go ridiculously small, which helps if you're having lining issues. And even the top of this head as it comes down around, I think some of these spots, maybe they could use a smaller liner. It would have helped separate some of these lines a bit. But the bottom is where, we get a little bit more of that hesitation going on, a little bit of a lacking. But again, from a distance, not too bad. Looks like some go overs and can see start and stops. Definitely see that. Again, that's usually in these areas down throughout here. Up here, we have a couple where it kind of comes around, whatnot. Let's see. What else? Looks like they lifted. Right. Not too shabby at all. Could have been way worse. I'm with you, Chris. I agree with you, Remember, these are all of our opinions, we're trying to help you out. Like, these things are noticeable. You can notice the imperfections. But again, overall, if you were to just look at this tattoo, okay. What I do really wish as well is if we take off this line at the top, we take down off this chunk at the bottom, it's like, yeah, all right, that looks pretty stinking smooth. But that's where I think it falls short. If there anything, is just in that smoothness, right? It's a little jitter here. It's got a little jitter here. It's got a little jitter here. Up here, this doesn't. It wish just flowed more arcing, but you got a little bit of a jitter. A jitter could be a lot of things. It could be a movement. It could be a pickup, a put back down. But overall, not bad. I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but I think it's not too bad. Okay. So, thanks for sending that in, man. Next up, everybody was, I think Danik or somebody was letting me know that it was med time for you, Andy. Had to go take your meds?
Yeah, med time.
Or something they said?
That's it. Go take all my tablets and that. Keep me heart pumping, keep me ticker going and that. And so I can stay up for you lot. Don't keel over and on a live stream.
Yeah, we can't have you having that, Andy. It's bad. It's a bad look for the channel, and people wouldn't like it if we were just not making sure you had your meds and Jello. Apparently,
that's the one.
Okay. Name's Lance. I've been tattooing a year now and have my own spot that I can legitly take clients in. Has been amazing. Okay, awesome, man. So a year. All right. Let's get in here a little bit. Look, I'm going to jump the gun here just as a glance. Sometimes I do like giving my first opinions because that's what most people see. That's what's fun, because if you see that person walking, you just take a glance over it. It's like, nice. You might get up closer and be like, okay, there's a little thing here and there, but it's fun to go, hey, that looks cool from afar. And this looks cool from here. We're going to get a little closer, and I think it's still going to look cool personally, but
yeah, I mean,
yeah, it does.
Might be a little unfair to get on this. I mean, because you pull back on this one, readability on this is bulletproof.
Yeah, I'm liking it even up close too, man.
Yeah, I'm liking it. I mean, this colour's punched in where it needs to be punched in. You've got a little bit of graininess, a little bit of texture, a bit of black. You've got a bit of everything going on here. I mean, you look in them sword handles, you got punched out black, then you've got a little bit of grey, then you got like a little bit of grainy black, grey, white. To give it all its depth. I mean, it's cool. I mean, you look at the black and the red in the logo above, that's solid. Mm-hmm. It is solid.
Yeah, you mean what I would have done? Now, again, this just comes down to different folks and different strokes. It appears that they use maybe some blacks and reds. I don't know if they incorporate some browns. Maybe they did. And maybe that's what we're looking at here. But yeah, I like to take my reds and kind of take them from a red, dip into a little bit of a brown, which kind of dulls the red out, and then carry it into the dark and black or whatnot. Kind of gives you that three color blend kind of a thing. Maybe they use that here, but overall it's still working. I kind of like, and I don't know if it's intentional here, that they used a bit of like a gray to line some of this stuff so that it didn't punch so hard, so it wasn't so solid where other spots could breathe a bit more. I actually quite like the lining in it versus, I don't know, it's just like one of those fun looking pieces. I see the little things here and there, but it's almost as if it's a bit stylized, so I don't want to beat it up or anything.
No, I mean, I like how he's managed to use solids with, and he's used to use that graininess for texture, which is, purposely done. I mean, if the only thing I had to critique on this piece would be, the blue that comes off the side of the head, would have either been just to maybe where it finishes off is to smooth it out a little bit, because you just see a little bit of the graininess. I think this would have lended to, or come with that blue, not quite as far, then just transitioned a little bit to a lighter blue. But that's just an artist.
Yeah.
That's an artist thing, is that. But it's just to smooth that out. But other than that, I mean, the saturation and everything, it's nice. It's very stylized. Obviously, this person is comfortable working with colour. You can see. Without a doubt.
And there's not a lot of it either. There's really not a lot of color. So it's kind of like a minimalist. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm with you, Andy. I like it. And I like that they even put a little whites here and there. I wish they'd have left space for this white. That's my concern. It kind of looks like they're punching white maybe right over top of their color, which is going to die down a little bit. So I don't know if that's accurate, but it kind of looks like that in some of these places. Yeah. So maybe that might be something to think about. And just a little bit better, more saturation. That's just going to come down to a little slowing down just a little bit more here and there. But, yeah, cool stuff. Love how it looks. Like the heads turning, whistle snipping. Yeah, right on.
Just give a shout out to Chris. He's in chat. Again, I appreciate it. Chris is the one that helps me out, posted me them cams, for my machine.
Yeah, that's right. That's
and then sent me a little goodie parcel with the skins, stickers, and everything, and the artwork, which I'll be putting this piece of artwork up. I'll put it up behind me. I will put it up behind me at some point, Chris. I've just had 1,005 other things to do, but I do appreciate it, and I appreciate you sending me it and helping me out of a hole.
Heck yeah. It's been nice to, have everybody here and there helping out, getting to know everybody. That's why I love the live streams. I get to know people by, It
is. I mean, the bloke, he has an Instagram and everything, and that, like I said, didn't have to do it. He offered to do it, which I totally appreciate. They come, everything was okay, and like I said, I was like to be honest, when I got it, Dave, I was like a kid at Christmas. I was like, what's in this goodie parcel?
That's awesome. Also, guys, just want to let you know.
Let's find Andy channel LS Inc. I don't know what I don't know what you're on about, Brian. I don't, because my channel on YouTube is not LS Inc.
Right. Yeah, no, Andy's channel is right here, guys. We'll pop it up one more time. It is the_tattoo_studio. It's scrolling at the bottom of the screen right now. It's going to go away in just a minute, but it's the tattoo studio. All right. Its email address to send work in to get critiqued later on this week is critiquemytattoo@gmail.com. Send your work there to have it on Andy's channel this Wednesday or this Thursday on the live stream over there. Also, guys, one last thing. I have been using it lately. I love the Amela cartridges, and I use them. But for the money lately, I have been using the heck out of the here I am. The Master Pro cartridges, man. I have really been loving them, especially for the money. I still find myself occasionally busting out an Amela cartridge for a few things here and there, but they're really close in comparison. and the Mass Pros are like a half the price, if not a little bit more than half. So if you're interested, if you're getting into it, they are the most affordable needle for the quality, hands down. All right, hands down. There's a link in the description. Save 10%, guys. I use the link when I order. I use the 10% link off when I order my needles from them as well. So use it as well. It's in the description. I put it there for that purpose.
Yeah, well, now you've got, you see, what'll happen now is, now you've got your code up, Dave.
Yeah.
When I order my needles, and like I say, I order 400, 500, 600 at a time.
Yeah.
I'm going to take your code, and I'm going to give me another 10% off. Because as mad as it seems, I already get a little bit of a discount, not much, but I'd still get the 10% as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
heck yeah. I mean, they're literally $1 cheaper than the CNC police cartridges, which I used to get all the time just to have a mass cartridges around at a decent price.
Yeah.
Like I said, I say that, but I like to caveat by saying I still really believe the Amela Elliott cartridges are my favorite, but the comparison is close, right? And for close in half the price, it's hard to say no to the Mass Pro cartridges. But I still have some Amela Elliott ones. I still order those too. These are my two needles. I got my, the ones I really, really love but can't afford all the time, and the ones that I love and I can have bulk of them in for the money. So that's just my opinion.
Chris has asked you a question. Any significant difference in wiggle on the cart brands? Now, I've used Envy Tatsol 2 cartridges. Terrible. I find there's a lot of wiggle on them, and I don't like the cartridges. I had a lot of membrane breakages. Then I was using Ezra Evolution for a long time, and there's a little bit of wiggle on them, not much. They are good for that, but I was getting a lot of one way or another defective cartridges that you really couldn't use. You know what I mean? They went straight in bin. Compared to the Master Pro, whereas out of, I think I've probably had about 2,400 of these cartridges now, and I'll be lucky if I've thrown 10 away.
Yeah.
As defective.
Yep, I agree. They just work. I mean, there might be a little wiggle here and there. I don't know. I don't notice it. I like their liners. I've been using them exclusively for the past 2 weeks. All the pieces you've seen, if you go check out my work at daveinks.88 on Instagram or Facebook, Death Punch Inc., all those pieces have been done using exclusively Mass Pro cartridges. Because I ordered some more Amela needles because there's a few that I really like. They're not even in yet, so I used exclusively Mass Pros, and I'm totally happy with them. They're sharp, they stay sharp, and for the money, get them while you can, because eventually they're probably going to go up, because I don't know how I don't know. I feel stupid that I waited this long to try them out. It's just been going in order of testing out needles, and I'm like, holy crap.
I don't know how they do it for price. I went on today just to look, and what conversion rate today, box of 7-round liners, Dave, for me, were £12. So that's like, what's that? $15, something like that.
Yeah.
For 20.
Yeah. I mean, it's like $15-$16 for a box of 15 curved mags, if I recall. I'm like, that was, I don't know. I mean, you can find needles cheaper, but for the quality, I mean, it's hard to beat.
Just one other question as well. Somebody's put on here. Anonymous Prepper has put on, what's a good brushless heavy stroke wireless machine? Now, I've just bought a brushless wireless heavy stroke machine, and you get a choice of, they'll send you 3 cams and you get a choice of 4, 4.5 or 5mm. I've got the 4.5mm in it. Chris, who's in the chat, he's got 3 of these machines, and it's the Ambition Torch. And I'll be honest, Dave, I have not put it down, and I've not used my other machine since I got it. Nice. When you just, the thing is, I just got this machine, and when you just gel with a machine like that.
Oh yeah. That's how I was with the wands, man. I was like, oh, this is
literally within 5-10 minutes of my first it's like, yeah, this is for me. and I've tried so many others, and it's a direct drive as well, so it really does smash it in.
Yeah, and that's at a really affordable price.
The Torped Andy, yeah, I saw it coming. Yeah, I mean, like I said, Chris has got 3. He's bought 3 of them as Chris. And like I said, I'm running 4.5, and it really does smash it in to a point that it's unreal.
Yeah, for a heavy hitter that I run is the Bishop One Packer. It's got a 4.2 millimeter stroke, and it hits hard. I line with it, I pack with it, and I shade with the Bishop One shader. That's my preferred stuff as well. And I know we're getting off on a tangent here. We're supposed to be looking at this work, but I did get those batteries in as well. I did get those batteries in. Let me grab them real quick. I know nobody cares.
Yeah, Therapeutic Ink. He's using Torped today with a 5mm stroke. Therapeutic, what did you think? I did a few little tweaks to mine when I got it, just to sweeten it up. I will say, obviously, Chris, you sent me the cams, because 2 of the cams that originally come with my Torped were too short. I got in touch with Ambition, and they have actually sent me the 2 correct cams as well, and I've checked them out, so they did stand good to the word that they would send them.
I believe that too, Andy, because I did order these batteries here. I was talking about in the last stream from Ambition, right? I want to test them out at $60 a piece for these pretty nice little batteries. I had to test it. $120, 2 batteries, backups. I had to test it. So we did order them. I didn't get any tracking information for a few days, and I emailed them. They got back to me the next day and said, hey, sorry, once it gets to the States, you're going to get tracking. And I did. They got here. I love them. I used this one for the past couple days now. It works great. This one works, but the screen is not reading out anything. There's nothing I can do to get the screen to work, but it works. I just have no idea what voltage I am. So I emailed them and I said, hey, this is what happened. I got 2. I explained it, and I'm waiting to hear back from them. I'll let you guys know. I don't mind if something comes in and it doesn't work. I know it's many other people, maybe not. I don't mind if there is a flaw. I mind if the company leaves you hanging or not. And so far they haven't, but I will keep you posted to what goes on there. Will they get back to me? Will they, make it square, send me a new one? I hope so.
Yeah.
Also, they come in these really nice packages. Like for $60, they're really they're doing it good, man. And,
cool.
I hope that they, like I said, I hope they make it square with this battery. If they do, all good. If not, then when I review these, I will I'll let it be known, So anyhow,
it's but yeah, it's mad how they come with their own nice little zip up cushion pouches,
Yeah, it's like
transporting them and protecting them.
Above and beyond. I spent way more money on batteries and had way less quality packaging. Here's the other thing, and I know there's some people that aren't gonna want to hear it. I use Critical wireless battery packs. That's my main 2. My second one is starting to go bad. The connection is failing. It's very frustrating when we're talking $500-$600 for 2 batteries in a dock.
Yeah.
Yes, they have lasted a couple years, but they're going bad. The one won't even work at all anymore. The other one is starting to go bad. So I wanted to find another brand that was less expensive, and then I found these through Andy. And again, for $60, I mean, they're smaller than the other ones, but man, they last a long time. They work well. So like I said, we'll find out if the company's going to be square or not. But anyhow, we better get back to it.
Yeah, it's getting off on the right tangent here, aren't we? I know that you wanted to do all the Q&A thing, Dave, and that, but we're up a week early here.
Right. All right. Adrian Vargas. Hello, I've been really studying YouTube videos for about 2 months and trying to work on fake skins. I recently finally got to tattoo real skin for the first time. Congrats. This second photo is something I Frankensteined in Procreate and practiced on fake skin. Okay, well, let's take a look. So it's been a couple months watching YouTube videos. Hey, that looks pretty cool from here. That's quite dynamic, actually. I like it from here. I wish the eyeball itself, that circle was, a little more round. Definitely seeing this dip right here. Well, I don't know. I'll have to get in here a little closer.
I mean, what I will say,
yeah, go ahead,
is,
Andy.
Just take your baby oil trick and clean your fake skin a little bit better. It will, it will clean it up, you know, and clean it all up round edges and get everything off it. Just make it a little bit easy to read. But I don't know about you, I'm quite digging this piece. It's not a piece. It's not a piece that everything's meant to be super sharp, super crystal, super clear. The black, where the black is, the black looks punched in.
Yes, it does.
The lines look, shall we say, fairly consistent with decent saturation and a decent line weight.
Yeah.
I'm looking just above the jaw in these little indentations here, where it's gone from a really rich black and just, you know, blended it out. Which is, bear in mind, what did you say? It's 2 months in.
Yeah, 2 months in. 2 months in. Doing pretty good. The lines don't look bad. They may be double banged in some spots, but they're not bad. And they even got different varying line weights.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all, really. And that black is solid, man.
Yeah. Obviously, like he says, he has been watching YouTube. He has been taking it in. He's soaked up a lot of knowledge.
Right.
And he's doing his utmost best to put all that into practice and not getting complacent. And it's paying off. For 2 months in, this is it's a nice piece for 2 months in. I just wish it had been cleaned a little bit better for us to look at.
Sure.
But that's just the finished clean. That's just finished cleaning. But the actual aesthetics of it and the impact of it is good.
What's up, Joey? Welcome, buddy. Welcome. He asked us how he was doing. Doing good. Doing good. Good to see you, man. All right. Now let's take a look at the first piece on human skin. As you can immediately see, there is a big difference. And that's what we're always trying to tell people, you know. We want to... It's a big difference, right?
Can I say it?
Go ahead, Andy.
This is rough.
Yeah.
This is rough compared to your... Unfortunately, this is where you think, I've done that on fake skin that doesn't breathe, doesn't move, doesn't say how, doesn't bounce up and down. You haven't really got to stretch it. And it will take... You can pass over that 5 times with a lighter wash and keep taking ink. But this is where the difference comes when you come over. There's lines that are double banged. There's lines that are in. And you can see the nervousness where the fake skin's flat and you're trying to pull lines over curved surfaces. You're not in the best position. Your client's not in best position. So you're like this, trying to get a line over. And this all comes into play in this. And unfortunately, it has way missed the mark, as that the lines in this shading where it comes, this bit around the outside of the flower where it comes in, there's nothing really uniform on that. Unfortunately, 2 months in, you don't want to be on skin. You need to look at this and think, no, I'm way off it. This could be saved at a later date. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could be sharpened up, made better, with some shading, reline, this, that, and other. It can be neatened up. But what I would say to you is stay off real skin. It's a totally different ball game. And at 2 months, jumping from fake skin to real skin, it's going to be a super massive difference. And it tells, unfortunately, this is rough.
Yeah.
This is rough. There's no getting away from it.
It is. And you can see what they've tried to do here, and it just misses the mark, you know. But like you said, I mean, if somebody came in with this and they were like, okay, I could, hands down, I know, Andy, we have no problem fixing this. I mean, this is a less is more has been done, no problem. So if this is on you, a spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, it doesn't matter. Get back, you know, hone. You got a little taste of that human skin. Go back to the fake skin, work those skills, and then, you know, you can always go back to this later. Don't jump into it early and try to fix it again, because then you're going to end up with more of a mess and whatnot there. So right on, though. Thanks for sending that in after just a couple months. So, I mean, you're heading in the right direction. Be patient. Don't get discouraged. Yeah. That's some of the hardest stuff to do.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Be patient.
Yep. I definitely remember times where I'm like, how will I ever do this stuff I see other people do? I mean, I still do that to now, you know. I'm like, how am I going to do that stuff? But you just got to stay true to it and keep working at it. And eventually you build up a repertoire of things and you'll get there. So you stay focused. So it's from Layla. It says, "Hey guys, my name's Layla. Yeah, Leela, whatever. No problem. The pronunciation exactly like Leela from Futurama. I don't watch Futurama, but thank you for giving us our best opportunities to enunciate your name correctly. But I'll probably still fail. I just finished the skull one, and the flower is a work in progress. Would appreciate any feedback or suggestions on what to practice next. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to help out." Okay, so you just finished the skull one. I'm assuming that's not on fake skin. Okay, I was gonna say that.
I was going to say that's on somebody pulling wool over my eyes there, because that's definitely not on fake skin, and that's definitely not being tattooed.
Yeah, I was thinking the same, but it's cool they sent their reference in. That's pretty ballsy too, so I really appreciate you sending the reference in. So we're gonna take a look at this, kind of soak this in for a minute, jump over here. It's not bad. I don't think that's bad. Let me go back. I mean, I think it needs a bit more dark in there. But what's up, man? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking. If you go back to quickly flick back to reference now, Dave.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether it's due to eye contrast or whatever, but now flick back to real piece. Yeah, I mean, some of the see for me, some of the shading, it seems to be too dark in areas. Just something seems to be off. I mean, and I don't know whether it's because they've highly contrasted the first piece, and yeah, some of the, but it's either they needed in some of that shading, they either needed to be some more rich black in the crevices and pushed out, or that shading, that tone that they've used for the lighter shading needed to be lighter. If that makes sense, it just seems a little bit too dark. I mean,
yeah. I think that
I think it's because this is highly contrasted, and either saturation and brightness has been turned up on the picture, that when we flick across to this one, it's looking so muted, and darker in comparison to it. It's throwing it off.
What I think they did here, Andy, is actually, in my opinion, not enough black, not enough dark, and that's what's causing it all to kind of look very dark. And it sounds backwards, but this nose in here is black. Up in here is not black. It's not quite packed. So if they had packed it really dark like it is in the reference here, black, and then allowed that to breathe, the black's not there to allow this dark that we see all over the place to appear lighter. So again, had they really darkened this up right here, really darken that up, come down here and really blacken this area down here like we see over here, where that's black. I can't see behind those areas, but over here,
you can't see that line.
I can see this stuff. So it just needed to have that more black in the right spots would have allowed everything to appear the way it did in the reference.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I liked all the. I mean, there's a lot of varying line weights, little details here and there throughout the stipple shading and whatnot they got, or whatever it is they got going on in here. I really like. I like it a lot, actually. I just wish they would have really punched in that black properly.
Yeah, a couple of the fatter lines where they've sculptured them in or they've packed them in. I can see there's a couple of little holidays in that. So if you're going to do a fatter line, make sure that your black's punched in that fatter line, wall to wall. Like I say, just make sure it's punched in and filled in. Majority of these are. There's just a couple of them that have just got a few holidays in, but like I say, I think it just needs a bit more contrast.
Yeah, that would have definitely. Oh God, excuse me, burps. Definitely would have. Joey sent a piece in. I hope you get it critiqued. Hey man, we're trying to look at some class work here, Joey. I don't know. We don't want to look at the arm scribbles, I kid. We'll make sure we get a look at it, man. Got to look at it. Yeah. Okay. So here, I mean, this line work is pretty nice, especially the thick stuff, you know, where I see it bold lines around the leaves. I'm a sucker for varying line weights. It just adds so much dynamics to a simple tattoo. This looks unfinished, obviously. The thinner lines, you know, maybe those could use a little bit more, but overall, I'm digging the line work. Again, not really sure. I'm pretty sure it's not complete. And
It's not
yeah,
complete. Again, some of them heavier lines, Dave, if you look at them, leaf on right hand side, halfway down, looks a bit over drilled. Bottom section of it looks a bit over drilled. It looks a bit cut,
here
actually.
too.
You know, just at that leaf there on right hand side, bottom line, bottom heavy line on it, you can just see across the top it's really, really dark. And then when they try to thicken it up, it's a lot lighter. But the darker part looks a bit more drilled in.
Right.
The bottom, and it's the same again in a couple of areas. But this is I mean, for the flow of the lines, what I'll say is for the flow of the lines, for e.g., for getting the commitment to, yep, I'll get round it, yep, I'll get round it, and the smoothness and of the curvature of the lines is nice. They don't seem to be, you know, like we say, you know, stepping them round or anything. But I would like to see this one finished and cleaned up and sent back in, so there's a little bit more to critique. And just watch your leaves that you don't go a bit too dark on your leaves and get a bit tonal. You need to, like I say, punch some blacks in, use some lighter tones, but have some separation. So it's not, you haven't got blacks on blacks with leaves. Just go on to Google, go on to YouTube, and just really study how different people tattoo leaves black and grey. Because a lot of them using blacks, using grey, using a lighter stippling effect with an open space in between it to read. Don't think you've got to tattoo it all.
Definitely. Yeah. It would kudos to you again for sending this reference to
Yeah.
Like somebody said, without the reference, we wouldn't have known. But I would definitely go back in that, darken that sections up, and just so you can visually see, like, oh, okay, I like it. But you're definitely on the right track there, Leela. And please finish this piece down here and send it back in, like Andy said. Would love to see it finished.
It's real skin. She's using real skin.
Oh, good. Well, you're using good quality stuff. That's important. Hey, Dave, finished building the tattoo room. I started it on the 26th of that month. Okay. But just curious if I should rearrange anything differently. This is totally different. All right, Kylie, just finished building the tattoo room. I love the lights already. I mean, I'm a sucker for those lights. A lot of high-end garages and stuff utilizing these lights. Never thought about putting them in a shop. Hey, man, I like that toolbox. Looks pretty nice. Yeah. All right. Anyhow, yeah, dude, digging it. I like the lights on the walls. It's got this sort of cool little ambiance. Got some red lighting around it. Yeah. Okay, now we can see.
Yeah. Because I was just going to say, lighting is a key.
It's so a key, man. I got like so many lights in here, and then I got to put the ring lights, and
you can never have enough, shall we say, bright white, and it needs to be a white light, doesn't it, Dave?
Yeah, it's got to be. Definitely want to have a good white light. The other thing I would say is, and I know you just kind of finished it up, get some stuff on the walls in here, man. Get some artwork up, get some drawings, get some pictures, get some of you in that place, man. I will miss my shop when I move because it's me everywhere, man. I mean, I got Marine Corps stuff, military stuff, drawing stuff, kids stuff. It's just on the walls. It's you. So I love the bones here, and I look forward to seeing you come alive in this place a bit more, man.
Yeah.
Nice stuff. Thanks for sharing it, man. Thanks for sharing it. It's always nice to have your own little spot, no matter how it's going down. Now, what I would say, I'm looking over here. I would get this stuff off of here, right? You got your inks and all that stuff over there. Get yourself like a little extra spot. I have a little section like right over here. Now you can't see it off camera. That's where my printers are at. All my stenciling stuff's at. My paperwork is at. right? It's on the opposite side. It's over here with the computer and everything else. On that side is all my tattooing stuff. So we keep little helps with that cross contamination. You know, we do our best, but we still want to be able to clean everything down, and having the printers and stuff there makes it a little bit trickier to keep it as clean as we can. So, but other than that, man,
I'm same as you, Dave. Our inks and everything and procedures and that one, and my printer, my computer stuff. Well, mine's in a completely different room, but I wouldn't have it that close. I'd be right down the other end of the room, away from it, just like you say, for cross-contaminations and stuff like that, because otherwise, if you're going for them inks, you've got gloves on or you're picking it up, and you're picking stencils up with gloves on that you forget to take off if you're working on a client and you print, then you've got to sanitize all that at the end of the session. You know, you're having to wipe it all down as well and sanitize it. Whereas if it's at the other end of the room and you've got to get up, you'll generally take your gloves off, go down, get your stuff, come back. And that way then you're not getting no cross-contamination or anything. Because I mean, I know that over here in the UK, the health authority, and when you come and get inspected, are big on it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. They are really, really big on sinks. You've got to have 2 sinks at least.
Yeah.
What you clean down with, your paperwork. There's so much that they go with, because, and I don't know in the USA, I don't know over in the US, Dave, but no matter where you are in the UK, no matter what county, city, or wherever, whether you're at home, whether you're in a studio, you cannot legally tattoo a person without a license.
Yeah.
You got to get that off the government, off your local council. Your local council come out, they inspect your property, they inspect it, they inspect everywhere. Because the last time I got inspected, believe it or not, there were a bit thinking I had to turn my water, my hand washing water was too hot. I had to turn it down.
He was burning.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I think this is just this particular, and I could be wrong here. I think this person is working at home, and this is the basement. I think because I can see the rafters from underneath, and they had a spot, and they really just kind of went in, floored it, took care of it, cleaned them, gave themselves a nice spot if they're going to do it this way to tattoo out of. And you know what I mean? So kudos to you for putting the effort in there.
Yeah.
Giving yourself a nice little spot to tattoo. So right on, man. Right on, Kylie. Thanks for sending that in. That's cool to take a look at for sure. All right. Kenneth is up next. So you had to turn the water down. It's too hot, Andy? We burn people?
Yeah, because obviously, because when they come and inspect you, you get signed off for your health and side of it and everything, because you've got to provide, your waste carrier's license for your sharp spins, for it's clinical waste, but it ain't over here, because it's only tattooing stuff, even though it's same as clinical, they call it obnoxious waste. So you've got to show all your paperwork for that. You sync your paperwork for your clients. Believe it or not, down to the particular stuff that you clean with, they like you to clean with particular stuff. Then you got to have dirty sinks, you've got to have a clean sink, and that. And then obviously, like any client sinks, say like the bathroom, toilet, they come out. They've all got to have hot water. Every sink's got to have hot water. You must have hot water, and that. And and they go around and check them. And because the place that I have didn't have hot water installed, I had to get like these mini tanked hot water taps. And what had happened is somebody had used the tap and then closed it, or not fully closed it, and it still heated the water a little bit in this little tank too warm. But after she'd run it a while, obviously, so it initially come through to red hot. But once the inspector had run the water while it cooled back down, so she went, "Oh, right, no problem." But she says, otherwise, if it had stayed that hot, you'd have got her. I'd have got her notice to rectify.
Right.
You know, before they'd have issued me with my full certs and tickets.
Well, that's cool. Got one sink here over here on the left. That's kind of my dirty sink, and then my clean sink's technically in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's fine.
But no, hot water. That's interesting. I remember the shop I first worked at. The similar thing happened. The hot water tank went bad, so they had to put this mini one, just enough to like suffice the inspection.
Yeah.
And it worked. It was fine. They just needed that hot water. Everywhere is a little bit different, but no less. You see how crazy I guess it can get.
Just on about.
Okay.
Just quickly about. It's like you were saying there, and I don't know how it works in. I don't know how it works in US, and maybe some people in chat will help us here. But in UK, say like I've got a shop, so I'm registered in that shop. So they'll come and inspect it. Do you know what I mean? This, that, and other. I've paid my dues. I've got all my certificates. Yes, you're registered with local health authority. Off you go. By law, by government, if you haven't got that, you are not allowed to tackle anybody legally, shall we say?
Right.
But then, legally. If you was to come and work in my shop, you've got to get inspected in my shop.
Oh, that's interesting. It depends on the state here in the U.S., like what state you go to.
Yeah.
Ohio used to be that each individual artist had to be licensed, and then the shop had to be licensed, kind of a thing. Nowadays, I think Texas is the same way. Is that the shop is licensed? Like the health department says, this shop is licensed to operate. Everything's good to go here. And once you walk into that shop, aside from like CPR, bloodborne pathogens, and stuff like that, you're good to go. I think they just have to like log you that it's working there or whatnot. But
everybody within that premises has got to have a license to work in that premises. And the mad part about it is, if I were to move out of that premises and move next door, you'd have to go through it all again because your license doesn't move. It's only for that premises.
Yeah, interesting. That's the thing. Yeah. It's so different everywhere. I've been looking into the laws in Texas, and they seem pretty decent out there. So I'm looking forward to pretty similar to Ohio. Kenneth says, "What's up?" We're getting off on a lot of tangents today, but that's okay because it's cool stuff. Hope y'all had a good weekend. These are the last 3 of my cheap fake skins. Got real skin on the way. I lost it in the snake's belly scales. I understand that. And eyes. Andy's going to pick me apart, but I'll take it as a learning experience. Can't wait to hear what y'all think. By the way, the dagger in Rose is what I was working on Thursday during Andy's live stream. Right, cool. Man. Right, Sean. Cool. Let's take a look. Oh, wow. That's kind of cool.
Well,
I think from here, like not observing any one particular thing, like it's visually kind of cool, you know, just visually, but I can already see some stuff that is a little confusing.
Yeah, I mean,
that's interesting. That looks flat as flat.
I'd be lying if I says I hadn't jacked the scales up on
and the shape,
on a snake or a dragon or a koi fish myself. I've done it in past. I just now know to pay more attention, you know, with it.
Right. Yeah, you slow down, take your time, because you know it can. Yeah. If you don't do it right, it's gonna show.
Well, I'm with you, Dave. What is throwing me off, and I'll be honest, Kenneth, what is screwed on this, mate, is that snake's belly.
Yeah.
I can see the snake's belly all the way through this piece, and unfortunately, my friend, it's contouring wrong. As it comes round, it should taper, and it should taper out and taper in. You know, as it comes round the curves, and I don't even think you'd see, as it comes out of the skull to go into the mouth, I don't even think you'd see any snake's belly there, if I tell you the truth.
No, it's a bit. I wonder if they put this together themselves and maybe definitely didn't quite get the shapes right and the curves right, and it goes from like a rounded thing to all of a sudden being flat and then to rounded and flat. Doggone snakes.
Yeah.
Dragons are the same way.
But do you know something? I think the eyes are quite googly and they just make it a fun piece.
It's kind of it's got that sort of fun look, and then you got the blue skull. It's not too serious. Nice blend in the blues.
Yeah, and the fangs are all nice and sharp. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of the tongue. It just seems it's got a massively long piece and then on end of it.
Right.
I do like where he's picked up and paid attention and he's used a bit of blue or a bit of black underneath his lighter wash underneath his blue and put that little bit of drop shadow in.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It's just little added details which help.
Looking at the line work, Dave, it looks pretty saturated.
It does, and it looks pretty smooth, like curvature wise. You know what I mean? Like flowing.
I think I'm looking at the color, the colors on the snake's belly, the colors you've used. I like the colors. I like the choice of colors. I think just maybe being a bit more punched out and solid on the outer parts of the body with the darker, just wafted in and smooth some of your transitions out would have worked on it. Same with the skull. I do like where you're going from the blue to the lighter blue. I just think maybe on the back right on the outsides of the skull, maybe using either a black or a really deep blue, just to give it a bit more curve, would have worked better on it. And the other thing, artistically wise, I think the choice of colour that you've filled in the background between the snake's belly and the skull, the black, up against the black belly, I don't think that does him any favours, you know.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you there.
If it had been, to be honest, if it had been left open, I think it'd look better instead of just blocking that in black. It'd look better on another colour, or even if it had gone from black from side at skull and just shaded it out instead of solid packing it.
Yeah, because it's like
a little bit of open.
Where's that darkness at? Because we don't see it anywhere else. It's, you know what I mean? It's like well lit around it, and all of a sudden it's so dark behind it. That would definitely help if they would have blended that out, like you said, lighter, kind of going out.
Good point. But I mean, the line work for it is, and it's smooth. The curves are smooth. The radiuses is smooth. Like I say, well, yes, scales are jacked. But you look around the outer parts of the body, you look around the top of the skull, around the jaw of the skull, even under that left eye that runs under there like that. It's a smooth line. You know what I mean? There's no hesitation marks, you know, within it.
Let's take a look at what we got next. All right, so this was the piece he was working on while we were doing your live on your channel. Let's just slowly kind of roll through this thing, and you know, I like his line work. You know, it's really not bad at all. It's crisp, it's solid. I like the different line weights again. Punching in solid black where solid black should be. I love that this person's working on those fundamentals and really nailing them on the fake skin while they can, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he's getting an understanding of getting dimension into his work as well.
Right.
You know, darks, lights. And if you just, only thing I would say, if you just zoom out a little bit, Dave.
Sure. A little more.
Just that tip of that dagger is not quite.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit off, and it looks to have like a little bit of a bend in it.
It looks like a drip, and I don't think it's intentional, but it kind of looks like it's like coming to a drip head right here.
Yeah. But the two lines that come down to it, Dave, have you noticed they seem to have a bit of a curve?
Yeah.
It seems to have a bit of a curve on it. And
right.
That's the only thing. Yeah. But like you said, punching the lines in, I don't know what he's using, but to be honest, for me looking at this, it looks maybe like he's using a round shader.
Yeah,
I would which is cool.
Yeah, I definitely like using round shaders for thicker lines. And like Joey actually brought up a good point. This is some cheap skin too. So the fact that you're getting good, you know, solid, relatively crisp line work on some cheap skin says a lot too. For what you're doing, I would definitely invest in some better quality skin just for the sake of it. You know what I mean?
He's definitely at that point where to progress yourself. And is it anonymous? It's anonymous. Is it anonymous?
Is this anonymous? Let me see. Who is this? It's Kenneth and anonymous. Let us know. Is that you, Kenneth? Anonymous? Were we the same person?
But this person has got themselves to the point now that your work's good enough. Just take that next step. You know, get yourself some decent skin. It will take your work to the next level. But this is clean.
It's
is
definitely
clean.
relatively clean. Definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
overall, these lines are out there. And the shading on this, I'm not a big fan of this like perfectly smooth black shade that goes all the way around. Just personally, I think it just needs a little bit more character, a little bit more, you know, follow the flow of the different feathers. But you know, that's all I'd say about that. I don't even really think we're not per se talking about the shading per se in it, but more the line work is just looking pretty good for this fake skin.
Yeah. I mean, you look at how sharp he's got the points on the claws, how sharp he's got the point on the beak.
Yeah, beak's
The
one
back of the
really
eagle,
messed up.
the back of the eagle's crown, all nice and pointed. And you look at the line work on these feathers, it's a good saturation, it's a good weight, it's smooth, the lines are smooth.
Yeah.
And that, and it's pinpoint. I mean, when you zoom away from it, it's like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a bulletproof piece for what it is, totally readable. And that, and he's done good. It just, all it's now is a case of Gibson. I would, if you can, just get yourself maybe a little bit better skin and start honing your skills in. Start honing your skills in, because that's what'll bring your. I think that's what'll bring their shading along. Is using a better quality skin will bring the shading part of this person.
There's Kenneth right there. Kenneth. Yeah, no problem, man. Definitely.
No, you're welcome. Totally welcome.
Definitely get some better fake skin. Is going to help you out a lot in the long run. Eric is up next. Let's see if Eric wrote anything. Sometimes it's at the bottom. No, nothing seems to be written here. Let's take a look here. All right, Andy, I'm going to let you take a look at this. I got to run and grab myself something to drink. My coffee's all gone. Maybe I'll grab a soda or some water or something. But there's a couple pieces here. I should only be gone like 1 minute. So I'll let you take a look.
So just zoom out just a tiny little bit, Dave. That'll do.
Okay. Yeah. All right, I'll be right back.
Right. I mean, Eric, firstly, I don't know how long you've been tattooing. Secondly, some of the lines you can see are shaky. They're when you put a line in, commit, pull, get out, especially at the bottom, it's not joined up, which I would have said it would have joined up. So you start and you stop points, but you've got to just work on your smoothness of pulling them lines and getting them lines in. And I know we're going about organic shapes and you can get away with a little bit, but you still have to get round them, especially with leaves, the style of leaves that you've done. Just get round them, pull them smooth, pull your lines smooth in between. Secondly, we've all done it. There's a lot of people out here that have done this. I've done it. Dave's done it. Eric, you're in chat. You've only been tattooing 8 months. No problem. When you're doing dots, Eric, and a lot of people have done it, when they want to do a dot, they'll just go like that and just put it in. And you will realise over time that this is probably how they come out. Your best way to do a dot, depending on what size of dot it is, smaller needle, actually go in and draw the tiny little circle. You will find it will come out so much better than just dropping your needle through skin, because you're actually making like a proper miniature circle. The other thing with this is the flower in the middle, the big flower, could have just done with a little bit. It's a bit tonal, and what I'm saying by tonal is where you've shaded out of the middle where the stems are. You could have gone with a little bit more black and just shaded it up, and just. But then you've come quite light. Then you've done a lighter grey. Then you've gone back out with a grey. And as a new artist, you have a tendency to do this. that people want a tattoo. So what you do is you think that to give them a tattoo, that you've got to do that tattoo and you've got to cover every square inch of it with ink. No, you don't. As an artist, you also got to learn to leave open space where it can breathe. And this is where this one's failing as well. There's no open space, there's no readability, along with there's no heavy black, other than in the little like leaf cornea or whatever it is at the top, and out the side there's no other heavy black shading, and that's what's making it that little bit of tonal. So that's just something you need to watch, but you also need to work on getting your line work smooth, because you can see like the nervousness for only being 8 months in, pulling that line, get it stretched, get it in, get done. And like I say, with your dots, and we've all done it, instead of just popping your needle in like that, actually go in, draw your little dot, go in, draw your little dot, go in, draw your little dot. They'll come out far superior.
Right. Well, let's see what the next one. They got a few here. Oh, wow. They definitely went dark on that. On the center of that is a sunflower.
Yeah, and it's heavy, is this?
It is heavy. It is heavy. I mean, I like the idea here. It's just, I don't know if I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of the way these flowers are living with this black and gray. It just seems, and I like a little bit of color in black and gray pieces. It just seems a little off there. I don't know. Maybe the line work just doesn't seem as smooth as it could be. I think it's saturated well. In some places, might be a bit much. Like as far, you might be drilling some of this stuff a little too hard. The shading is going to come with time, but that's where you got to get used to that hand movement, that almost consistent back and forth. Because if not, you end up with some spots that just feel darker for no reason, right? It's not consistently smooth across. And that's where fake skin can be a good practice. Obviously, the speed and the motion is going to be slightly different from fake skin to human skin, but it's definitely an art form and something you want to practice and get used to moving there. And then the dots up here, the highlights on these balls, just they're a little, I don't know, they're not quite consistent, where the light might be hitting them. They kind of curve a bit more than I would imagine they would, but I could be totally wrong. And then obviously this is just just a bit too dark. I think they're falling into that same thing I think I heard you saying in the last piece, just not letting that piece breathe. And then the center is just wide open. So it's like, I don't know. I'm just getting all these different confusions from this one.
The other thing as well is, Eric, and like I said, and I know you're in chat, you've also got to get used to using different line weights, different needle configurations within the same tattoo. Because using it's very one line weighted, is this for me as well, where some of it could have been a little bit more delicate, and got a little bit more gone in with a 3 or a 5 round liner, and done stuff, and it's just feeling a bit heavy and a bit drilled, within the lines. But there again, why I'm going to say is 8 months in. What I will say is this is something that happens at 8 months in. You're not totally figured everything out. And even at 8 years in, you won't have totally figured everything out, but you just got a better understanding.
Right.
Of using different needles, different mags. You use them like an artist would use brushes. A fine liner pen, fine needle for fine lining. Use a big mag like a roller for painting a wall. You wouldn't use a 1-inch brush to paint a bloody side of your house. So it's just them things that you've got to work out. And also using, like I said, the fine needles, you can get some finer details in there, which just take it to that next level. The sunflower, yes, it's a little bit dark, or it's coming across a bit dark. There's a lot of glare on this photo. But what I would say, Eric, is, look, these have all been, you might have done one on false skin, but I'd say do a bit of practicing, Eric, on some, some fake skin, get some fake skin. At 8 months in, you should also still be practicing on fake skin, in my eyes, and honing it.
Oh, this one's much better. I still think we're getting a little dark still, you know what I mean? Maybe we're having trouble. Maybe those light tones are getting the right tone for the background. But I like this flower a lot more, you know what I mean? It reads much, much better. And then these beads are I like the little shadow you got there too. It just helps add to the realisticness of it per se. I still think that you could have punched in some. You got all this dark around here, but it would be nice to get a little bit of like, yeah, a little black right here, a little black right there, but maybe just got a little bit more in the depths down there. I say that often. Sometimes we sound like broken records, say the same stuff, but I like the white highlights you have here and there. But this dark, dark background, I don't know. I feel like we could have gone a little differently with that. I think you could have blended that out a bit more. Something. It just feels a little heavy on the background, but I definitely think this is the best piece of the bunch that you've sent us so
it's
far.
The best piece of the bunch. The artwork's a lot better. I'm with you, Dave. I think the background is probably 2 shades darker than what it needed to be.
Right. You lose the leaves a bit.
Yeah, because the leaves are getting lost because they're of a very similar tone. Right. So I just think that background could have used a lighter one, and not necessarily gone all the way around every leaf. You could have gone around the rows and just feathered it up the side of the leaves a little bit and left the leaves out in the open. Do you understand what I mean? And just gone around the rows, which may give it a little bit better on that. But yes, I agree with you. This is the best one that we've seen. The rose could have just used a little bit more black in it. But other than that, Eric, what I would say to you is get to grips with your shading. Get some, I don't know what mags you're using, get some curved edge mags, bug pin, size 10s. And when you're shading, instead of just shading all in one direction and getting that strokey graininess, you can go that way, go this way, go that way. It will fill it in. It will smooth your shading out. These are just things that you can just get a piece of fake skin and you don't need to draw anything. You can just sit there and just shade away and just work out what's better to get a soft finish. You don't actually need to tattoo anything. You can just practice your shading on it.
Definitely. Let's jump to the next one. All right, this is the last one in the bunch. Now, if he'd had gone with a lighter tone like this for the back of this, we might have made. And I mean, you could have a little bit of black here and like blend it out. Looks like they may blend it a little bit, but maybe blend it a little bit quicker to get out into something like this. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of a pretty straightforward. We got some solid black areas and then some shaded areas, right? But let's take a look at this over here. I feel like, this piece is just, I don't know. It feels like you could have gone back in there and smooth that out a little bit more, make sure it was a little more saturated. Same with these kind of lines here. I don't know. Maybe they're intentionally supposed to be that way. I'm not sure of the reference. And then again, here, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be 100% black or left open in some of these little spots. I'm assuming it's supposed to be solid black. And if that's the case, we just want to take your time, get all the way up to those edges. Like I said, sometimes photos will tell you what your eyes can't. I try to take a photo towards the end, zoom in on that thing, take a look, find those little holidays and openings and what have you. What's up, Andy?
No, what I will say is I'm just looking on it. It's got some he has got some nice artistic texture within that eyeball, within around the iris and the pupil. The little lines. It's not just shaded. He's taking his time to put them little lines in and the shading, in there, Dave.
Yeah.
So that's a bonus. And what I'm going to give him credit for, that one line just below that pupil that goes over the eye and swoops up, on the bottom part of the eye.
Right here?
Single line, yeah. That doesn't look a bad line at all. It flows nice, it's smooth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And with that, I'm just going to go grab some of myself. I'll be back in 1 second.
Sure, no problem. All right. Well, Eric, I appreciate you sending those in, man. I hope that you can take whatever you have to say and keep it or throw it away. It's totally fine. So this is from, I'm going to say Harris. Last name's Harris. I don't have any information on you, Harris. You didn't leave us anything. So we're just going to jump in here and take a look at what we got. Okay. I don't know about that. White is packed in there. The black is in there. I don't know. This one's just kind of reading a little bit rough to me. Let's take a look at a couple pieces here and soak these in. Yeah. Yeah, I think that you're using too light of shades with no black in your work. It's like we're using just some light mid-grade shading when this needs to be dark. You're on darker skin, so you need to rely on your black. Use your black. Don't rely so heavily on the lighter shades, which you're not, but you're definitely relying on those midtones, lighter midtones, in my opinion, really, than you need to. There's really no black. There's a little bit of black in the eye. I mean, this might be black through here, but it's just not saturated. This money bag symbol, it's weak. It's not saturated in there. And then you're relying pretty heavy on white. Your lining, while not perfect, is, it's not bad. It definitely needs more work as well. You're probably moving too fast. There's just a lot of things, a lot of little things that are piling up here, making the end result just not really something that, that looks great. And that's just my honest opinion. Again, down here, the line work is loose. It's not very crisp. I do like some of the lines around this money bag here, but again, we need black in this. It's hard to read. Yeah, we know who it is, but that's because it's a bit, we're used to this person, this character. So again, what I'm going to say is definitely need to work on the lines, right? But bust out some black, saturate this piece, get some black in this wherever you can. This, again, I repeat, these lighter shades you're rocking, you're not helping anybody out here, right? It's not doing anything for you. This up here, this hat, this needs to be black, needs to be dark. And even if you're going to use a shade, you have to saturate it. You have to get up to the lines in here. This is probably bit off way more than you should have. This is not really all that great, and you've covered a large area here. You're trying to do a lot of things that you're just not quite ready to do. I've done it, and I just hate seeing this happen because it could happen to anybody. All right, but this is the better of the two, in my opinion. But again, take what we had to say there. Now, this one over here, I am not a fan of this at all. What I will say is you have much more black saturation here, which is good. I like the black that you have saturated because if nothing else, we can see this a little bit better. Jeez Louise. It helps separate things. And then again, we're relying on these whites. You don't want to necessarily rely on these whites so much in the dark skin, but the rest of it is really hard to read. The only spots I can really legibly see is exactly where you have black, and then the whites are popping out. The rest of these shades, they're not really doing a whole lot for you. What do you think, Andy?
Yeah, I mean, darker skin, you've got to, that tone's your mid-tone, so you've got to use heavy blacks a lot more, and it looks like they're relying on white. That white, you'd be lucky if that actually stays, white in this darker skin. But yeah, it's a hard thing to master is dark skin because you've got nowhere near the amount of tones, and this has got away with you. And what I would say is, if you're going to go on dark skin, start smaller, get your head around it, get an handle on it. And that, because this just doesn't work. There should have been more black shading in it, to bring it forward. And you've got to be very, very selective of where you put it and how you do it. And it's like I say, you can get away with a dark tone and then a mid-tone. Then the tone after that will be the skin, and you've got no lighter tones. You will get away with a tiny little bit of white for just highlights, but you've got to work it with lighter tones. True greys, opaques, whatever you want to call them, do work quite well on dark skin because the white base tinted with black, they do actually work quite well on dark skin. I found better than a grey wash.
Yeah, because you're set. Yeah, I could definitely see that now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the piece. We talked about this one. Again, this person's just biting off too much, not leaning in on their blacks, relying too heavy on whites and stuff. But in 4 months, what do you expect? I'd love to see some more of your practice work. That would help us understand what led to what you had there. And if you are going to work on your own skin, try some smaller stuff out, All right. Sam Harden, thanks for everything you guys do. All right, Sam. Okay, that's not too bad. Not too bad. I really like the yes is probably the best there, but no, this is pretty clean, I'd say.
This is some of nicest.
Yeah.
Some of the best, shall we say, smaller scripts seen executed lately. The only one thing I would say on this is the D on the daddy. The front of the D doesn't quite follow on for the A, the D, the Y, and same with the Y and the yes. It just seems to be a little bit thin on the front edge, not on the back edge, just on the front edge where it should get thin. That's it. But other than that, it's smooth, it's clean, and it follows.
Definitely. All right, what do we got here? Let's see. Okay, so we got like I didn't see at first. I see it now, but I see the B, the wings, a couple of leaves all coming together to kind of create this heart, which is probably cool if that's what the client wanted. And the area they're at is kind of an interesting area as well. But some things to watch out for is, if you're getting a result that looks kind of like this right here, this is a result of a little bit more stretch and just slow your hand down a little bit more. And it could even mean at times that if you can't get a good stretch, it feels like those needles aren't quite getting penetrating enough and getting saturated well, it's just push your needle out just a little bit further. That will help you when compensating for the bounce in those areas that you're stretching like crazy. And it's just you're getting that result. Just push them needles out a little bit further. Lay them in there a little harder. But be careful, right? But a lot of these lines don't look bad, man.
No, I mean, they don't look bad. There's just a few.
Yeah, there's a few that are a bit light.
Just got to work on
shaking here and there.
Yeah, it's a little bit shade needed, and then just watch out, like you say, on that leaf. That leaf could have been a bit smoother, around it, that bottom leaf and everything. But just watch. Even Brian's put on. Give the stream a like, guys.
Yep.
No critique. No critique here next Sunday.
Yep.
It's just Q&A chat.
We're going to be talking next week on the Sunday live stream. We're going to be talking about what do you really need to get into tattooing? What equipment do you need? Whatnot. Like, and we're going to have a conversation, me and Andy, and we're going to bring the chat into it as well. I want to know what you guys actually think, because there's so much stuff you can get. What do you need now? What are the more expensive things you would say like are important to have, that and some stuff you might want to look into getting down the road, and just bring this stuff together, have an open conversation, and then lead that into Q&A, whatever else you guys want. That's next Sunday. This week, this Wednesday or Thursday, over on Andy's stream. Andy, I'm just going to throw it out there now again. Here scrolling at the bottom of the screen is Andy's YouTube channel. So this Wednesday or this Thursday, we're going to have a tattoo critique on his channel. But this opportunity allows you to send in your work anytime during the week to his channel, and we'll check it out this Wednesday or Thursday. And that email address is scrolling at the bottom of the screen, and that is also his YouTube channel, _tattoo_studio. Go subscribe so that you guys are there this Wednesday, this Thursday. We're going to be able to take a little extra time, go in depth, and look at your work over there.
Yeah. And I forgot what we were going to say now. We're going to say something about and like you said, next Sunday, Q&As, that's what you need, what you don't need. And if you guys have come across something that's, shall we say, beginner friendly, budget wise, that works, hey, let's have a look. Let's hear about it.
Absolutely. That's the time to share.
Yeah.
Share what you got, share your, what's working for you. That's it. Yep. So anyhow, that was it, guys. So yeah, that would be all we probably have to say about that piece. We're gonna boogie through these because there's a few of them. And we are getting close on time here. I'm not a fan of this front paws here. It looks like they're just smashed. Like, yeah, I don't know. This one, maybe you went too big, too much. The other ones, it's kept it small, reasonable. This one, the lines are pretty rough throughout, depth wise, shaky wise. Yeah, the black and the cheetah just kind of looks like a little scribbly stuff. There's nothing really special going on here. Yeah, from front to back, it's kind of, I'm not really digging it. Let's check out your next piece. All right. See, when you keep it small and you're learning, it's not as bad, right? And this isn't bad per se, but again, we're having some hesitation down through here. You can see it in the shakiness of the lines. And I know the wrist is tricky. It's got all kinds of little, you can see them, all these little areas to give you a hard time. But up here in the actual little buds of the flowers, not too bad, not too bad. All right, now we went down the whole back here. See some of these, so we see the imperfection in this. I'm just pointing this out because these little things you can get just a smaller needle, go in there and smooth some of this stuff out, especially this blacked out stuff. Smooth this out. Take your time. It's so important, like in here, the separation between these, let's call them arrows for lack of a better word. They're inconsistent, and the gapping in between them isn't there. It's not consistent. You got to go slow on this stuff. You got to follow that stencil to a T. Don't be in a rush. It's going to take you a long time in the beginning. And yeah, pretty much follows all the way up through. Yeah. This isn't nearly, this is a little bit better up here, but if these two are supposed to be the same, they're not. This is way different from that one.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, them teardrops, as you get that little bit further, they're not saturated. I can see the holidays from here. They're not, it's not saturated black. Them 5 teardrops just above that centerpiece.
Yeah,
the larger ones. But
right,
just zoom out a little bit, Dave.
Yeah,
a bit more. Is it me? That's skewed. That looks like it's
crooked. It doesn't look like it's going straight. No.
Yeah, it's crooked. It looks crooked. And that's when you're going down spine. That's a big factor. Do you know what I mean? It looks off center.
Yeah, it does appear that way. Maybe they're twisted. Maybe. But from here, yeah, the picture does definitely.
What we're saying is placement is also key. So you've got to make sure it's right. And at the minute, like we say, it could be twisted, could be crooked. It looks cocked off to one side.
Right.
Does that. And like you said, depending on the step, I don't know about you, Dave. When I'm putting a stencil on, I always make sure the client is stood up straight. I don't put them on them when they're down or.
No.
I mean, I have done on the back of the forearm, but if I'm putting it up here, they're stood up. Same with legs, anywhere on the torso, even here, round neck or anything, they're all stood up. And that, like I said, the only places they'll be sat down for me to put a stencil on, maybe be here, or on hand, or on a finger. All the rest of it, I just get them to stand up and stand naturally, so that I can see how the body lies, and then start marking them up, with Sharpie marker.
Right. Yeah.
And end up with about 20 different reference points of Sharpie marking on them.
And I like to keep them in a natural position. Sometimes when you go to put something on, they'll kind of like, I mean, they don't know any better. They're trying to straighten their arm out or do something that's like not natural, especially when you're laying an arm stencil. It's like, no, relax, because you're not going to be walking around like this. You're going to be relaxed. So we want that piece to be in the relaxed position as best as possible.
Yeah. Chris has got it.
What did he say?
He puts, have them in what he calls waiting for the bust position, standing naturally. Yes. Like you said, their natural everyday pose, so you get the natural flow and everything for their body is the best way.
Definitely. Well, I don't know that we're going to be able to get to everybody today, Andy.
Well, it happens, Dave, unfortunately.
If you guys, again, If we end this and I don't get to you, send your emails over to Andy.
Yeah, send them to mine.
And we're going to go in order on Andy's day too, guys. Yeah. So obviously first come, first serve. And again, I'll throw that email up one more time as I start to say this, just so you guys know. Send your work to that email address right there. And we'll be able to take a look at your stuff midweek. And if you can't be here, that's fine. It'll be live on, it'll be up on Andy's channel after the live stream. You can always go back and check it out. Yeah, if you guys are watching this after the fact and you made it this far, stream a like. Appreciate it. All right, I'm going to get stuff fixed out here. Okay, let's see. We got Big Tony is up next. We're going to get to probably about just a couple more today. All right, third tattoo. Hey, this is my apprentice's third tattoo on actual skin. I already gave my 2 cents, but since I started by watching you, I decided to get your opinion as well. All right, Big Tony, it's your apprentice's work. Well, you know what? Just as a piece, if somebody came in, they knocked this out, I would be like, hey, it looks good. Nice job. I'm sure the client's probably totally fine with this piece. All good. Some things, I would probably tell them to help them out also would be even these little tiny lines through here, make them all as perfect as you can, take your time, treat them just as much as you would an outside line. It's easier said than done at times, I know, but that would be something I would try to tell them. There's also a couple spots through here, about right here and here, where that line, it kind of loses its dead consistency throughout. But I like the black for the most part. It's saturated well. Where the lines need to be good, they're pretty good. Even these thin lines running through, you can see where it was picked up and put down, but it's not bad. I don't think it's a bad tattoo at all. I think it's a nice little tattoo. It just could use a couple little butter ups. And
I mean, what I would say is just that black's not quite saturated around eyes and over thing. There's a couple of holidays in it, but other than that, it's just a little banger tattoo. And you've picked up on rested stuff. Just watch out. Just make sure that you're just giving it your 100% all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you just got to treat them all the same, but just make sure that black can just see a few holidays in that black.
Yeah. Oh, geez, what is happening? Oh, sorry. Yep, down towards the bottom there and whatnot. Let's see. Was there only one? Oh, I thought he said a couple. Oh, this is Apprentice's third tattoo. I thought he said there was 3 of them. Yeah, nice. He's off to a fantastic start. All right, next we got Sam. All right, I can see we're jumping into the hand tattoos. All right. Well, I mean, if you're gonna do something that's solid. If you got to put it on the thumb, and this is, all black. The problem here, in my opinion, and I'm not 100% sure, but you might find that this is not all black because that purple stencil is there, and it's so very well, it's a solid stencil. You're looking and thinking that is black, but I see black here, but then I see purple here.
Yep.
I see purple here. I see purple. So it's telling me, and obviously if Andy's agreeing, then he's seeing it too. It's not quite saturated all the way. That dark purple's giving you false hope, unfortunately.
Yeah, that should have had a really good wash with green soap and checked over, before you got to this point. Because like I said, I can see the purple. I can see the purple through the black, which to me would say it's not in.
Yeah.
And then just the bottom of the mouth and the bottom of the chin looks a bit chopped on it. Looks like that sign a little bit overworked. But this, you may find it may not be 100% punched in. And don't get me wrong, it happens. Also, fingers lighten up. The tattooing fingers as the heel have got a mind of their own. You know what I mean?
Right.
Some will heal, there's no rhyme or reason. Some will heal perfect, some will heal like garbage. I've done loads and I've not had no problems. Yeah, I did a cover up on a girl's finger and I did say she probably would want nobody else. She'd been to 9 other people and nobody else to take it on. I've done it. She just sent me a message and I did say she may need another touch-up session. Once it's healed, she messaged me tonight saying, yeah, can I have a touch-up session? You know what I mean? Just a few little bits. no problem. She'll come back, pays for another session, bosh, done. That'll be it, over and done with. It's just how it works. But you just got to try to do your due diligence. And this actually needed a really good clean and a really good wash.
Yeah, that would have helped a lot.
Yeah.
And it's definitely looked chewed down here. Am I right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we jumped on to another hand, and as you can see, and I'm sure you experienced this, tattooing hands is actually really not all that easy. There's a whole bunch of texture and pores, and things are just different. It's a rougher area to tattoo, and you see that in some of these lines. And a moon right there, man, it's a bit of a challenge if you're not proficient, if you're not confident. And the top of that is a bit botched, which unfortunately is just eye-catching. Same up here. The lining up here it's not saturated. It's not saturated. Even this color, when you put color in the skin, especially right here on that wrist where that's going to bend a lot, you need and really want to take the time and saturate it really, really well, because it's going to heal a lot lighter. You're going to lose some things, especially in the hand, in those bendy areas. Same down through here a bit. But I mean, is it bad? No. Is it good? No. That's where I land on that one.
I mean, like you said, hands, fingers, especially delicate stuff like this on hands, they're so overworked to your hands that they take so much punishment. In and out of water, just working, generally shedding skin like fingers, same with feet. The chances of keeping all this in is slim, keeping 100% of it in. And like Dave says, if you're not comfortable with these fine lines, it shows. You can just see some of the shakiness and the hesitations throughout it. I have a general rule of thumb when I'm doing a hand or a finger, and I always, if I think to myself, I'd normally run this at 6.9 or 7 volts, I usually up it by half a volt, and then and then just keep my hand speed same, straight round. It's usually, and it goes in with this sort of skin one time. I just usually up my speed of my machine just a little bit. Not a great deal, but just a little bit. I just find it helps me, and me personally, with this type of skin and fingers, because I'd rather get over them in one go rather than having to go back in, because generally designs are tiny, and just do it that way.
Right. Good to go. Therapeutic. Let's take a look. Something I just finished. First full hand tattoo. All right, another hand tattoo. Ooh, therapeutic. I don't know, man. That's a little bit on the rough side, in my opinion.
That's jacked.
Yeah. That hand, those lines are a bit too thick and a bit scratchy. The black around the outside feels very one-noted, and these little veins that are supposed to be running between this leaf or something just looks like a cactus, unfortunately. The lining, that this sort of like lining coming out of the hand supposed to create, or coming out of these, it's all over the place thickness wise. There's some that are just solid. I don't know. The size was probably good. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm just not really finding much redeeming here at all.
No, I'm just going to say that's a bad tattoo.
It is, man, unfortunately.
And it started with a stencil, because that rose stencil hasn't been a very good stencil by the look of it,
Yeah.
To fit. And I would have actually pulled the rose a little bit smaller, maybe put a leaf off the bottom left-hand corner towards the knuckle. The line works off, the shading's off.
Yeah, it just looks like a black blob.
The leaves, other than the general shape of the leaves, that vein that goes up the middle, that should have just been basically one black line off, the rest of it done with shading. Unfortunately, this is, I can't say it another way. This is a bad tattoo. It's a really bad tattoo.
Yeah.
And to try do anything with it at this point, for anybody's sake, is going to be hard. all I would hope is that it fades, it wears out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would hope that it fades. Because I always look at stuff like this, unfortunately, when we're looking at stuff thinking, all right, if somebody brought this in, what would I do? I would hope it faded. And then you would have to punch more black into it in order to make the old black kind of seem like a mid-tone, and then use some lighter tones. And but some of the hard stuff is these hard lines through here. That's a hard thing to kind of work around. I mean, you're gonna do the best. Like this in here, I'd have to I mean, I'm just looking at this trying to figure out what I would do, and it's doable, but it's not going to come out at the end looking like looking fantastic. It's going to end up looking much better.
I'll be honest. If I were this guy and had it on my hand, first thing I'd have got done is I'd have gone home and got a bowl of red hot water with soap in it and put my hand in it and soaked it up to keep my pores open to bleach that ink out of it.
Oof, yeah, that's it. Huh?
And then used a crap load of, and then while it were healing, I'd have been using Vaseline on it, keep them pores open, get it soaked under as much water as I could to lighten it up to get a chance of a covered up. Because when it's fresh, if you soak it underwater and using Vaseline on it and keep soaking it, keep your pores open, you won't get rid of it, but you'll bleach it down a bit.
Yeah, and then I mean, like you said, a cover up probably not, but a rework, would have to be all you could do. I mean, unless you went black or something, but you'd have to make it into a flower. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd have to be just a better flower than it is. Maybe color could do it. I could definitely fix this, but it's a shame. We really
rather
than
than
doing this stuff to people's skin, man.
Unfortunately, therapeutic missed mark on that one. But like I say, it's just things now you've got to take that work back, and everything starts with your stencil. Make sure you've got a good stencil, a nice stencil, because that is your roadmap. Like I say, if you've got to have a good roadmap to work from.
Yeah,
but it doesn't have to be overly complicated, but it's just got to be a good roadmap, and you need a good reference at the side of you. You need a reference at the side of you, to work from as well.
Definitely. This is Zach. He's been tattooing on and off for a few months. Only comfortable doing line work right now. Canvas, dedicated his leg to self/practice tattoos. I mean, the lines are inconsistent, but I mean, that's pretty common when you're learning. As you see, it's thicker, it thins out. It's not quite, kind of missed the stencil in a few spots. That being said, I mean, it's not horrible or anything. It's not horrible. I mean, we've seen this cross quite a few times, and it has been much, it's been pretty bad. But it's so important that you follow your stencil to a T on this kind of stuff, right? Because there's no room for error. And for the most part, in my opinion, you got it, right? But the line work is just, it's not touching there. This line's much thicker than this line. This is a bit thicker. I mean, you're saying it's just line work, so we got to just critique line work. Hard to kind of tell what's going on over there. But, yeah. So try to get a little bit more consistent with your lines, trying to get that needle in there and get that hand to move smooth, pull from your shoulder, not from your wrist, because your wrist is not very stable. And just know where you're going to start, know where you're going to end as you move. Stretch that skin, feel those vibrations, listen to the sound of the skin breaking, and move your hand nice and smooth as you go. Not every line's gonna be perfect. Believe me, I know that's for sure.
Oh yeah,
we're just trying the best we can. We're just trying to give you advice as the best we can.
Well, I agree with you, Deb. I mean, we've seen this cross, and that centre section of the cross has been so far whacked on other pieces that it's been so far over to one side or off. So you've done a relatively decent job of keeping everything parallel and throughout. And it's just like Dave says, you've got to work on your consistency on your line, your pickups, your stop, getting through. And like I said, when you're pulling the line and a long line, try not to pull it with your wrist, because that don't work, because you've only got a certain amount, a straight because your wrist will naturally work for a curved line. So
Right.
if you're pulling longer, straighter lines, pull through your elbow, pull through your shoulder. So you'd be like that. If you can get into that, you will pull a long, straight line. Because then you can have your hand there and you can bring it down. You can bring this one down and be stretching with your palm and pull it all the way down. But your shorter straight lines, yeah, you can do with your wrist, or a curved line because it will actually pivot in a curved position. But your straighter lines, if you can try using your elbow and your shoulder, you will find that you'll be able to pull longer lines a lot easier.
Heck yeah. All right, guys, I'm trying to get through as many as I can here. Try to hopefully.
Am I talking too much?
No, we're not a chance. A couple tattoos I did on myself. The Nirvana smiley face was my first. I know a couple lines in the cat need gone over. All right. Well, I think it's cool. I mean, let's just start there. Like the idea, the concept, this little green guy, whatnot. Now, when it comes to, actual, what is the word I'm looking for? I don't know the word I'm looking for. Doing it right and how it looks. I mean, these lines are all over the place. A lot of them, some of them super light, kind of stringy. Again, we need to get comfortable with the needle depth, the hand speed. That's like day one, not day one. Obviously, that might be day, months, whatever. But that's the first thing we're working on, is trying to get the line, weight, consistency down. Because if not, you're going to have this sort of in and out, thick and thin, inconsistent stuff throughout. And you have that on all these lines throughout here. The color is pretty interesting. I'm not sure what it was meant to be. I'm looking at what it's there, right? And it's kind of fun. The reds, you could have had way more value in your reds. I'm not really sure about all these dots throughout. But, I mean, it's a cool tattoo. I mean, I know it sounds weird, but I still think it's a cool tattoo. Like, it's kind of like a cool bad tattoo, if you will. Like, I don't know. That's
I agree with you. It's just there's just some lines that are a lot worse than other lines, and they stand out.
Right.
Because it is what it is. They stand out.
Well, let's take a look at this. The yellow's saturated through there. I'll give them that. Now, obviously, you got hair coming out, so this stuff's all kind of in its healing. I don't know. Is the circle supposed to be like kind of all over the place? If the circle's meant to be, non-circular and a bit wonky, then sure. Black is saturated, yellow saturated, but I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know what this is supposed to be. I don't know, what's accurate, what's not, but I would definitely just say by looking at these two pieces, line work. I'll start there, get that dialed in, and then continue forward.
Hone your line work. Fundamentals. Back to basics. Fundamentals. Got to get your line working.
Yeah, exactly. Anonymous. Let's see. This one was done for smoke. Tried some color packing with Kurosumi cheap skins. All right. Oh gosh, what a clown. Yeah, man. I mean, aside from what we're looking at, man, I feel bad for you, man. You saturate all this black on this fake skin back there. Boy, that is some tedious stuff, man. But hey, good on you for the time. But it's all readable, shapes and whatnot. The eyes feel like they could have a little bit more depth to them. They feel like I can really feel the lineage on it, especially in like a black and gray sort of semi-realistic sort of thing going on here. A little bit more depth. Maybe you could have gotten a little more dark in here in some of these dark areas, which would have pushed some stuff in the mouth, push that black in there a little bit more. Again, got a little bit going up and around these eyes. I know that usually around the eyes, there's a bit of some darkness going on there that I feel like we're missing. So it kind of draws us into these hard lines we have here. Yeah. I would start there, man. What do you think, Andy? Because the eyes are kind of throwing me off a bit.
Obviously, I must be on the wrong side of the pond here, because am I missing some sort of, shall we say, jokes? I don't know what it is. I'll be honest.
I'm pretty sure it's our current president who is a joke.
All right. Right. Yeah.
Pretty much a walking.
Like you say, I mean, props off to packing all that black in. And I mean, I like how they've captured the expression across the face. It has got the, that expression there. But I just think within the face, just work on a little bit of smoothing out some of the blending, and the tones, working tones into each other. And that. Other than that, I haven't really got around to say, because like I said, I didn't know it was. But looking from the hair, maybe just a little bit more. So even if he has white hair, really light hair, just some super light tones,
right?
Just to give a little bit of dynamic to some hair direction and that. And then it's just basically working out your tones and smoothing them out and this, that, and other, just to give it, shall we say, that little bit more of a cleaner, smoother look to it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The anonymous did this for smoke because we were doing the China. Yeah, boy. Yeah, this was maybe before he started losing his mind. I don't know. What a sad man.
What's that? Silly stuff. Silly stuff. Damn, I've just binge watched a lot of your vids and didn't realise you were live. He really appreciates work you've done, Dave.
Yeah, I threw that up on the screen earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that over there. I was like, oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, a lot of people who watch the videos, they don't realize because it's like a different tab or something. They don't see all the live streams. But if you're getting new into this, the live streams, these tattoo critique streams are a great thing to go back and watch. Just help you realize what's good, what's not, So I appreciate you being here, though. Trying to get to everybody. Let me see. So we're on Perry. All right. We're at the push. Kind of get through. All right. Perry says, hi, Dave. Any chance you guys could give me some advice on tattooing? Got started just before Christmas and would like some pointers on how to improve. I know my line work is one area. Love the channel and have taken a lot of advice from it. Both pieces were done on real skin using a 5-round liner. Okay. Well, I like the lines for the most part. It's not too bad. Giving them a quick little rundown here. You can kind of see where we're going over lines.
This would be easier to critique his work on this piece.
Yeah.
Go
ahead, Andy. I got to use.
Just like I said, I'm looking on here. I know you were on about the other one, the lines. I'm looking on here.
I'm gonna go to the restroom. You go, man. Go ahead.
They've been double banged of these lines, and this is something you got to work for. This is why they go single pass lines. Get your lines in one time. So when you're looking at the left-hand side of the anchor compared to the right-hand side of the anchor, the line weights, can you see how they're a lot fatter compared to the right-hand side? Now, this is when you've gone back over your line and you've slightly missed it or gone slightly down one side of it or whatever, and it's ended up thicker. You can see it. Now, like I've said before, if this happens on that side, you're best off going to your other side of your anchor and doing exactly the same, so at least it looks symmetrical. That way, then, we may pick up on it, but we're not really going to, whether it's an actual mistake or whether you've done it on purpose. Also, the bottom part of the ribbon, where you can see the ribbon, it just comes around, comes under. Can you see how your line starts from the pointed part, then comes under and it gets very light and then comes back in? That's just by not keeping even pressure, even speed as you're going through and flowing through. So this is the other thing. Couple of little areas. Just don't start and stop within the rope that's going through it where your lines come round. I do quite like that you used some dark. I whipped it out with a bit of texture in your shading. Same with across the anchor where you give it that little bit of texture, that little bit of dark, and same around the top. But where you need to work on is your line work. It's not consistent and it could just be a bit smoother. A lot of the places, it's okay, you've got your sharp points on and that, but you just need to figure that out because you just need to keep an even pressure and even hand speed all the way through it and try and get it in there. And unfortunately, like I say, you've gone back over your lines on the left-hand side and of the bottom of the anchor, they're a lot fatter than the right hand side, and it stands out.
Yeah, I agree, man.
So,
I agree.
But other than that, it's not too bad a looking piece. Some of the shading's really nice on it. And again, through that top where you just put like the little bits of lines going through it. So work on your line work on your start points, your stop points, and also work on, believe it or not, that if you don't get a line in, getting back in on top of that line, straight away. Because generally, if you go over a line and it's not in, and you need to go over it a second time, you will not need to put as much pressure on the second time because the skin is already punctured. So the needle will go in easier. If you put the same pressure on the line the second time round, that is generally when you will get a lot fatter line than the other side. You can lighten your touch.
No, that makes sense to me. Yeah, I agree with what you said. There's some really nice stuff going on. There's definitely some lines that could be buttered up. And I would say pretty much the same on this one, just for not beating a dead horse. The only thing I would say here, just visually, is dedicate yourself to some solid blacks in here. If you'd have made this solid black right in here, this solid black right in here, and just kind of had that blend out about right here, and then solid black here, solid black maybe down here. Find little spots where you can just put solid black, and that's going to make those other tones feel a little bit more mid-grade and then give you more dimension overall.
Yeah.
For lack of time, guys, I definitely want to try to get to you guys, because all these ones at the top are you guys who have been here the whole time, so I definitely want to make sure.
That's it. Joey come in just to say that he's sent a piece, and then he's been out all night, and now he's just coming back in, hoping that we're going to get to his piece.
Oh, really, Joey?
Yeah, proper troll. It's just proper trolling us, you know what I mean? He's been a bit of an half-baked tonight. I think he's fallen asleep and then set his alarm clock.
Oh, nice. Hey guys, what's up? Just a random one here. It's an anime demon. Apparently not my thing, but a guy wanted it. That is tattooing in a nutshell.
It is.
That is not my thing, but I tattoo it. My mother makes me laugh. She's like, "Do you have to do those skulls and this, this, that, and the other?" I was like, "Mom, this is, I'm not people. I can't do crosses and all that stuff all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. As your mother, as a mother, you'd like to see, some very nice things, but I can't pick this stuff. I tattoo what people want." That's kind of cool, though. I didn't, just from a distance here. Let's get up on here a little bit. I like the tongue color. It's kind of decent as far as the tone of a real tongue. I've never really tattooed a lot of tongues, so I never had to try to make that color. One of the spots that hits me is this eye up here. I don't know. Just some of this lining just feels like it's been gone over a few times. And it's accurate, though. Accurate as far as gone over. I mean, you're hitting it pretty well. But I wish the background had a little bit more black. I feel like, like a dead, just like repeating the same stuff. But it gives a little bit more contrast. You can get a little dark behind the mouth or something. A little dark back here to push stuff. Give it a little more depth and what have you. But I don't know this reference at all. It looks like this might be something that I don't know.
Just going to take stem, Dave. I mean, see, for me, it's like the tongue. Yeah, the tongue colour and everything, but I'd just like to have put a little bit of a darker, pinky, reddy colour, towards the back coming out.
Yeah, right.
I don't know the reference. I don't know anime. So this might be how it is.
Oh, this is anime. Oh,
yeah. So I don't know how it is. It's like the rest. You've got the pupil and the iris, but the rest of the eyeball and the teeth are left open like that, because just for me at the minute, I'd wanted to put some tiny little bits of shading in it.
Yeah, like a real light grey or something.
So it'd be unfair for me to say that, because it might have had the reference at the side of this and look at it, and it might actually be spot on.
True. Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean? True. So it's really hard.
Yeah, they're both the same. So overall unknown, not bad, man. Not bad. We need to learn anime. My son's he likes anime, and I need to learn some of it so that when we're here, we know what the heck we're looking at.
He's put. He wanted to, but it is what it was. So it must have been what it was. He wanted. He said he wanted to put, but it must be as it is.
Yeah, I wanted to, but I'll put it up there so other people. I wanted to, but it's what it was. Right. I know. I've been there too. Where people are like, "Well, you should have done this." It's like I would have loved to done that.
Yeah.
But this is what they wanted. Why'd you do it like that? Because why'd you make the eyes blue? They wanted the eyes blue. I think it should have been not blue or whatever.
Yeah.
You're subject to what the client wants a lot of times.
Well, according to Boss Lady, if you want to know about anime, I think you better start listening and taking lessons off one of your kids, Dave.
That's what I told you, man. I'm sure he's watching. He's like, oh yeah, I know exactly who that is.
Yeah.
Right. But for me, I'm like, I have no idea who that mouth and whatnot are. So I try. If anime is not your thing, trust me, it's not my thing. It's meaningless. If it is your thing, then it's like, how do you not know who these characters are? That's the difference to me. For people I've met, they know and whatever. So, well,
Christopher.
What? Yeah. All right, let me jump across here.
All same tattoo.
Yeah, just trying to get a view of it from all the different various angles. But the line work's pretty dang consistent, man.
It is. I mean, it's clean.
Yeah, this is a clean tattoo, man.
It's consistent. Yeah. It's a good banger of a tattoo. The use of shading where it's peppered in. You know what I mean? It's peppered in, and it suits this because it's all, when you look at the piece, it's all done that way. So it's naturally all done that way, and it's done on purpose. The numbers, the clean. You look at like the little parallel lines through the hat, through the bagpipes, and you look at the tubes on the bagpipes. They're all pretty much uniform and everything, and it's a super clean banger of a tattoo.
It is, yeah. I mean, this would be a fun tattoo to do as well.
Yeah, it's super clean. It looks well. It's totally readable, and I'm sure the client has walked away because he's asked for this. Has walked away stoked.
Absolutely, man.
Has walked away stoked with it.
Cool little piece. Nice line weight differences. Solid.
Well executed.
Nothing but good things to say here, Chris. Solid piece, man.
Even down to its little belly button. It's a nice round dot. It's gone in and done a round dot. It's not just stabbed it with needle. It's gone in and drawn them dots.
Right. Took the time and made that nice little piece in there. Nice job, man. Kevin. Hey guys, been tattooing as a hobby 1 to 2 months. Not very long, 1 to 2 months. Wait a second. Hey guys, been tattooing as a hobby for almost a year, but in parentheses is 1 to 2. Oh, come on. I got to learn to read. 1 to 2 a month for almost a year. Okay, my kid wanted this on her knee for the bee's knees, right on. Bee's knees. Okay, let's check it out. Okay. Well, you're tattooing right on the knee, so it's tricky, but these colors, the yellow is not quite saturated all the way up to those lines. So I know there's a lot of like shine on this photo, so it's kind of hard to see, but you can see that yellow. You really want to pack it up to the lines, up to it, and it is more readable, more visually seeing these mistakes are actually easier to see than we think. Same up here around in the skull. And I think the same goes for the black as well. Take your time, saturate all the way up. It's pain in the butt. This red back here, I don't know if this was meant to be super, super, super light, but it is very light. I mean, even when this heals, that really light red's going to get even lighter. And I would have brought that pretty close to the bee itself. The lines kind of seem blown out in some spots here a little bit. And they're just a little inconsistent throughout. I mean, if you zoom out from here, it's okay, but we're getting a look, and the shading throughout these wings just, I don't know, it's not really doing a lot for me personally, but I'll pass it off to you, Andy, man. Let me know
Yeah, I mean,
what you're thinking.
Straight on top at kneecap, not the best skin in the world, one at worst bits, skin not well. Looking at this kneecap, you've actually got some decent kneecap skin. Now, what I would have said, if this was me doing this piece, them wings, I would have used slightly bigger liner, not much bigger, and I'd have done them on a sketchy fill just for the simple reason of the skin and how it's going to wear.
Yeah.
The main body of the bee, I would have done with the edge of a mag. There would have been no clean lines on it. And the yellows and the blacks would have been, I'd have gone like that so they were feathered into each other, just that will detract from anything that goes on with it would being over the knee. The skull, obviously, you've got to do around it and everything, but the wings would have been better. And I've said it before, you could have done with these wings a little bit of grey, a little bit of really pale blue in these wings. I'm not a fan of just using that white dot in the back corners. It just looks weird. But as Dave says, these smaller lines over the tops, there's definitely blowouts. And I don't think that red's in hard enough and shaded out that it's going to stay crisp and bold. I think it's going to lighten up really well. You know, it's going to be in there. It's going to stay in there, but it's going to, because of how it's in, it's going to lighten right up. I just think it could have just a little been executed style-wise for the area differently.
Right.
And it would have been worked off better with a lot of it, especially the body, use the edge of the mag, to soften up.
Definitely. Well, Kevin, thanks for sending that in, man. Let us talk about it. Anonymous. And okay. All right, we got a 3-round liner. I see a lot of my issues. Thinking the skin is causing a lot of issues as well on crisp lines. Had no soft back and think my table bent the tips. Yeah, you definitely, if you're working on those fake skins, guys, most of you guys know, put some paper towels under there, put some foam, put some something under there. Because if you're taking thin fake skin or even thicker fakes, it don't matter, and put it on a hard table, you're just, you're not, it's not quite realistic. And yeah, you're using way too small of a liner.
Yeah.
What size liner are you using? 3-round liner. Yeah, for this size piece, that's way too small.
Could have got away with a 9.
Easily. You could use 5-round shader, you could use 5-round liner, 9-round liner, 7-round liner.
Yeah.
I mean, so many different things you could have used other than this 3-round liner, because we can see everywhere that you just kind of had to just pick up, put down, scrape.
Yeah. See, it's like we've said before, when you're learning, Anonymous, look, start with a fatter liner. Start with your 9s, your 9-round shaders, your 5-round shaders, 11-round liners, because they are a lot more forgiving on your line work, and you don't end up beating yourself up over your line work because it's not coming out how you want it to, because everybody's going to struggle with a superfine liner. And superfine liners at this size of piece would only be used for little bit of detail, or if you want to do some stipple shading and that. So, especially on this size of piece, would have definitely been a lot bigger liner. Definitely a lot bigger liner, and it's not doing you. It's not doing you any favors. It won't do your confidence any favors either. So when you're learning at this point, use your bigger liners. Then when you've got a handle on them, then come down. Then start coming down and start messing with smaller liners. But as you're messing with smaller liners, use them for detail or for smaller pieces.
And the other thing here, I would say, just on a more positive note, still needs some work, but your shading has some bit of like gradation to it. It's not this like patchy stuff we see all the time in early, learning tattooers, if you will, very early on. What I would say is a little bit more cross hatching will give you a little more saturation, and don't be afraid to darken an area up. That will allow a little bit more of the gradation to be more present or visible, right? We just darken these areas up a little bit more, crosshatch this way, nice and slow and steady, and then kind of stopped right about here with the dark. Would have helped, right? I see you got a little bit of a divot in here that's readable. There's certain spots that I see you know how to like give things shape, which is really important. But it just needs a little bit more darks in there and work on that as well. But like we said, liners are going to be a big thing, man.
But the other thing as well, and I know Joey said it on there, but yeah, it's just look at your hand speed and your voltage on your machine as well. Do you know what I mean? You may need to for what hand speed that you're running at, you may need to up your voltage, to keep up with it if it all feels comfortable. If it doesn't, then you're going to have to slow your hand speed down, because that's the only way you're going to get consistent and saturated lines, by matching your voltage and your hand speed together. And that's why it just takes a little bit of time to get there with your lines. That work, all this sheet of false skin, Anonymous, you could get four decent sized tattoos on there that are a good thing, to work on when you learn.
This is also really, I mean, you could definitely, if you want to take it more serious, definitely get a better fake skin, because you can quite literally see through the fake skin. If you zoom out, you can see whatever's behind it. I can see that. And so it's so thin, it's making your life really hard as well. So if you want to push it a little further, you definitely can. So we're ending on Joey. Here we go, Joey.
Well, I've read the title, and it says "Sup Old Timers." So from that point in, I am not critiquing your work. You can have waited all night, and I'm not saying a thing about it, Joey. You want to sit there and call me an old timer? This old timer's off to bed. See ya.
Stuck with the trolls, man. Sup, old timers? Did this yesterday. Took 8.5 hours. Broke my back. Wow. Who's the old timer now? I want you to critique my water effect. Oh, we'll critique it. Critique it so hard. Can you read that? Oh my goodness. Can you read that it's a waterfall coming off the castle in the center, and also the splashes of water underneath the unicorns? I also tried to blur out the castle in the back to give the unicorns more focus. Let me know your opinions, gangsters. Okay, dude, I love all the dynamics that are in this thing, man. I really do. I mean, it's utter garbage. I mean, yeah, I wonder if I didn't read that, if I'd have known that was a waterfall. I do wonder. I mean, I see it now. I mean, yep, that's a waterfall. That looks like a reflection right here. So I wonder if that's what that's supposed to be. Reflection. I see reflection. It does read a bit blurry back here. So obviously you're putting that out of focus for us. My favorite parts of a lot of your work, Joey, is these like movement you capture through the like windbreaks. So I'll call them, for lack of better words, right? That you have like running through the horses, this running down through here. Like, it's so nicely done. That's really what gives it such nice class, in my opinion. And then this nice sky, just a whole bunch of little things add up, right? But cool, man. And down here, this is what else you want. I'm sorry, Andy. Down here, I think you wanted us to know if this it does look like they're splashing around in some water. Yeah. Nice job, as always, Joey.
It does. I mean, it's a nice job. I mean, to be fair, we don't expect all else. What is my ultimate favourite of this old timer? Now he's had his jello, Joey. You know what I mean? This old timer will actually give you a critique. That I would say my ultimate favourite piece on this is that unicorn on the left-hand side. I like the eyes, the nose, the face, the whole. Yeah. I love all the piece, don't get me wrong. It's a great piece, but if I had to pick one piece out of it, it's just that section of that unicorn. And yes, it is a waterfall. I can see the splashes up on the waterfall and it coming down, the reflection, the splashes underneath. You say there's a castle in the background. This old timer's eyes must be bad because that looks like a pyramid.
It does look a bit pyramid-y, like right here. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just yanking your chain. But no, it's a lovely piece, and I agree with Dave. I love how you put the motion through it, but still keep your piece on. You still keep your piece going on within them light emotions by using the lighter tones on it.
Right.
Again, Joey, we've seen this over and over and over again in your work, and this is the style of work that you do, and it's virtually flawless, mate. And I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
What I would like, and like I said, throw it out, I'd love to see you. I'd love to see you do a piece with a load of line work in it.
I don't think that's Joey's thing.
No, he does. I know it's not. I know it's not, Dave, but I'd love to see, just throwing it out from this old timer that's finished his Jello. You know what I mean?
This is Jello.
That's nearly time to have his adult nappy changed. How about that young whippersnapper trying to do some, shall we say, some line work and show us how it's all done?
You know what I will say? I've always been nervous to do this focal kind of thing, to like blur other things out. I'm always afraid to do that because I'm afraid that it's so selfish that people will think that, oh, he couldn't crisp, you couldn't make that crisp. You know what I mean? Like, oh, wonder why he got hazy back there. You're right. The wrong person to zoom in and go, oh, he barely even finish that. He could have done and not realize, but the overall piece, I don't know. I'm trying to warm up to allowing to take the art to another level and start to force the eye to look here. This is the focal spot. This is going to be in the background, and really start to play on that level, which I don't really do right now. So it's motivating to look at it and think, yeah, I like it. It looks cool. I don't look at it and go, I wish those mountains were, or that castle is more crisp. Like it reads probably the way he wanted it to read. And I'm always afraid to kind of do that because I think it won't read the way I want it to read. What if it reads sloppy and not out of focus like I want it to read? So I don't know, but I really am jealous of these freaking little wind whoopy things. I try to add them to my pieces. It just looks not refined. So I like it. But anyhow, what do you say? I use a 9 curve mag for the edges of the pyramid castle. So that has a soft edge. Right. It's just not giving it those hard lines, kind of bouncing that mag up and down to kind of softly put stuff in there. But
yeah, I mean, it's great work. It is great work. You can't take away from it.
Not at all.
Well done, well executed, good use of tones. And ultimately a good artistic knowledge.
Yeah.
Of everything, what it should look like, composition, finished, this, that, and other. You can't take away from that. And I know for as much as we jest and we pull each other's chain, you just cannot take away from what he does.
No.
And it's a stonking piece.
Hey, Joey, why were you waiting to post this till like next week, Monday, Tuesday? I didn't see this posted on your account, man.
No,
I think we're getting first glimpses of it. We are being sent here to get our stamp of old people approval. Make sure that it's good. Is it good enough to? And it obviously looks good, man. Hopefully, we'll see it posted. Give it a comment, give it a like, support our peoples. Right on, man. Right on. Well, we did it, Andy. We looked at everybody's stuff.
Right, Dev. Right. Yeah. What I have got to say, and I just need this off the comments. Oh, where we gone?
Sorry.
Can the people in the comment, has this stream been okay tonight? Has it run flawless? Have we glitched? Have we stuttered or anything? Can you just let me know in the comments, please? And also, like we say, if you want to carry on getting your work critiqued, unfortunately, it's not going to be on a Sunday night no more. It's been moved over onto my channel, and we're going to do the Q&As and topics on yours on a Sunday night. Aren't we, Dave?
Yes. Yeah. So next Sunday, we're going to be discussing a topic. Like we've said before, this particular topic, it's just going to be what you need to get into tattooing, what's necessary, what's not, what's next on the radar, what's worry about later, what you can use in place of this and that, and blah, blah, blah. There's so many questions and so many conversations we can have there, machines. And then we just want to get into some questions and just have a conversation about this for a couple hours on a Sunday night, keep it chill. And then allow this Wednesday or Thursday, to go over to Andy's channel, which I'm going to put at the bottom of the screen right now, just in case you're just joining us. That's his channel, the Tattoo Studio, and that's the email address to send your work to. You can send any time from now until Wednesday or Thursday when we go live over there on Andy's channel. So we're going to mix it up. It might be a tattoo critique on Andy's channel, might be on mine. We might be doing a theme discussion Q&A with a topic on either one. So just kind of keep it interesting, change it up, different audiences, different stuff going on.
Yeah, so like I say, it's a case of like, share, subscribe, ring bell on Dave's channel, my channel, if you want to keep up with what's going on. And like I say, if you want to carry on seeing your work and getting it critiqued, is jump over onto mine. What I will say, Dave, they're all saying stream's been good tonight.
It has been. I'm looking at it over on the side. This looks crisp.
I owe you an apology. I owe everybody an apology, because what seems to be the reason why the stream has been garbage, and Dave has always been blaming his internet.
I have been.
And we tweeted something the other night that it was my laptop that wasn't powerful enough to run everything and was dragging us all down. And I've actually stopped being a tight ass and upgraded and put my hand in my pocket and got a PC. So the last couple of streams have been on a PC, and it seems to have run so much better. I'll be honest, Dave.
Yeah, the good news is it only cost me an extra $100 a month to upgrade my internet, to try to try to get the stream better. Instead of $100 a month, it's $200 a month internet. No, I'm kidding. But I've enjoyed having the bit better internet for uploading and whatnot. But yeah, I'm glad we figured it out, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely so much smoother. We don't have to worry about fighting that all the time.
No, because like you say, we were just blurring, glitching, stuttering, and everything. And since I've upgraded, it just seems, whether it's coincidence, I don't know, but it just seems to be that it's running and everything is so much better than things. So yes, hands up, my fault, bit luck of it. Still using Windows 97. Yeah.
Oh shoot. Well, now that we know this is the geriatric stream,
that's the one.
You know, everybody watching, she's making Andy look young. Here I was resetting my internet, calling cable company, freaking out when it's Andy. Right, got in fights with people over the phone.
Yeah.
Like, sir, everything's good. I did. I did think it was lagging when Dave was reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was lagging for you. That was on. Yeah, it was on your end, bud.
Yeah. Alicia, it's always Andy's fault, lol. Yeah, well, honestly, I've learned that after being with my missus for 25 years. It's always my fault. So I've got used to it. Yeah. But just remember, it's Dave's fault. Just remember, Alicia, it's Dave's fault that he hasn't stumped up on his bet and paid for that steak and lobster. So that's Dave's fault, not mine.
We're going to make sure she gets the best steak and lobster, Andy. Okay, wait until we go to Texas. Can't be skimping on no Ohio steak. Come on, get out of here. Yeah, I've been waiting patiently because I'm only going to give her the best steak and lobster. So, in a couple years, it's going to come true.
Only the best for the boss.
Well, anything else we got to get out there real quick before we leave?
Yeah. Oh, before we leave, any questions?
Guys, yeah, I don't think there's anything else. Go follow Andy at on Instagram at LS Inc 2019. Follow him on Facebook at LS Inc Tattoos. You can follow me on Instagram at DaveInks.88 or on Facebook at Death Punch Inc. And we will be live again on Wednesday or Thursday this week to take a look at your work. You can send that in anytime to the email scrolling now at the bottom of the screen. You can send it anytime from now till Wednesday or Thursday when we go live, and we'll go first come, first serve basis up. Vice here on this stream where you got to send it live while we're here, right? So we're hoping we can spend a little bit more time on each piece over on Andy's channel. And that would be kind of fun in itself, and then involve the chat a little bit more, even so. Over there.
Yeah, get you in and like I say, get you into, and these are what you've all been at it long enough and you've all seen it. So it's like, want to try and pull, even if it's scaled down a bit, and try and pull you in and get you involved a bit more in critiquing these pieces that we put on screen.
Yeah, definitely would. If you guys have been, a lot of you guys have been watching for a long time with us, after a while, sometimes you feel just like a broken record every Sunday, saying similar things, pointing out similar things. But I know it helps some people, so we do it. But sometimes it's just nice to do something different for a change and allow you guys to let us know what you see in tattoos, because we miss stuff all the time. I know I do. Or sometimes I like to encourage somebody when I really shouldn't be. Sometimes I should be being a bit more blunt. So sometimes it's better to let the chat chime in and just, I don't know, make it more well-rounded, more enjoyable that way.
It is, and like you say, you've had it. I mean, God, what is it now? It's got to be about a year now, Dave. Every Sunday night for a year. It'd be nice for you as well to come on a Sunday night and have a different format.
Yeah, a bit more relaxed, not so much pressure. I'm not that pressuring, but we feel the need to go kind of, if people send an email and we want to get through them. So it's kind of, it feels a little bit rushed at times, where if we have a topic, we can just lay back a little bit and just discuss, not feel like we have to try to get through so much,
Yeah. You can just, like I say, when you have a topic and you're having a Q&A and you're having a discussion, you can blab on a bit more and just move down and slowly move down and address what comes in the side chat. It involves the side chat a lot more, doesn't it? Having the Q&A and everything, and gets the community more involved, gets there over, and like we say, your findings, anything that you've used or whatever, getting views on it.
Right. Yep. And just change it up. It's fun to talk about stuff. Like I said, if we didn't discuss some of the stuff we discussed here, I wouldn't have learned some stuff that I learned. And it comes a point when it comes down to little things that you change in your process that can make really big changes.
Yeah.
Because over time, it's like, well, I don't know what I can do different. I don't know what this. And so little things can make big differences. So it's really nice to have multiple voices and multiple ideas, because I know it helps you guys, but it also helps me as well. It helps Andy. It helps, we're all learning and sharing stuff here. And that's really what I enjoy. I know we used to chase numbers and stuff and whatnot, but now I feel like kind of weird to chase relationships, right? We're chasing community more so. I'd rather have 30 people in the chat who can bounce stuff off each other, and we know everybody. It's just fun. It's enjoyable.
That's like you said, Dave. That's a good thing. You're better off having 20, 30 people in chat that are chatting and bouncing off each other, because the chat's the chat. They're here. They're the community. These are the people that you're trying to help. And there will be people that will come on and probably just watch and not join the chat. Right. But the chat's not a bad place. There's no bad people. I haven't come across any bad people in the chat. There's no toxic people. Well, maybe, it depends on who you are. But but they're all here to help, give their opinions,
right?
and that. Just bear in mind that it is adult chat, and sometimes
Yeah.
it slides one way or other in on topic, but it is adult chat. And tattooing is basically an adult themed thing to be learning or professional or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
And by the way, Brian, me and Andy tested Zoom out, and
dog
I
crap.
mean, I love having people in chat. Maybe we'll bring maybe 1 or 2 people on occasionally. Maybe, I don't even know. It's a lot to try to get the software to process it, but it is a pain in the butt using Zoom.
The thing is, as well as,
and I don't want 100 people in here either. It's crazy to have more than just maybe 4 tops people talking over. I mean, you know, Andy, we talk over each other all the time. Like,
do it all the time.
Like delay.
Yeah, cause it's hard.
Yeah.
And it's like, so we messed around with it and trying to get Zoom. We tried all sorts. There were loads and loads of different programs, downloaded and tried them, and trying to get it to work and stream and broadcast at the same time. It's hard. And the computers, like your computer at your end, that's doing the most work, that's bringing everybody in, sending it all out, as well as broadcasting in via Zoom, because your main holder on Zoom, and then streaming out to YouTube simultaneously.
Yeah.
And if you're not careful, your computer will end up going into bloody meltdown. It's a lot for it to keep up with. Whereas we tried all sorts, but inevitably, and I hands up admit that this app is so easy to use.
Yeah.
And everything. And I know that you have a monthly subscription to it. I mean, so do I.
Right.
But it is so easy to use, and it makes it easy, and it makes it easy to get in and out and screen share. And it's not massively processor hungry on your computer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems to work. And like you said, we could still bring in a few more people into this. So maybe there'll come a time where we'll have a guest or 2 on. But again, it just adds to the more processing that has to happen. And Zoom is a decent operation there as well. But to go live with it, a monthly subscription is required for over a certain amount of time and whatnot. So anyhow, this is the app that we use. It's worked out the best for us. And I'm totally fine with having a conversation with maybe a couple extra people as well. Maybe that would be something we could look into doing on a Sunday as well. So maybe have 2 more voices, actually have a conversation. Having 4 people review work is a struggle, because, you know, we'll sit there for an hour on one piece because, you know, 4 people have 4 different opinions, and as a viewer it might get old. So but discussing equipment and stuff, I think more people could be better. So maybe we will look into you know, having somebody else, 1 or 2 other people maybe jump on occasionally with us. But I mean, again, guys, it's just, it's whatever. It's we're here for you guys. We're here to hang out, and being in the chat is really the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
Because that feeds us through these things. You know, we laugh, you know, it makes it more fun and enjoyable. And maybe we're being selfish by saying that, but it is more fun to have some banter going on and whatnot.
It is from our point of view, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah.
Getting the questions and getting stuff from the chat and feeding off the chat with the conversation helps it and makes it more interesting for us. Obviously, I know you guys send in, you want your critiques, you want help, this, that, and other, which is no problem, which is what we're here to do. But it's nice to have that banter at the side as well, to break it all up. And the good thing with, like you said, like the Q&As, it's so easy to take a question out of the chat, put it on the bottom of the screen for everybody to see,
right,
and address that. When you've addressed it, move on to the next one, put that one up, and it's just a nice laid back format, really.
Yeah, it's user friendly. They've designed it to work for exactly what we're doing. And like I said, we searched, we worked, we spent time, and ended up coming right back to where we started. So there's a reason for that. But again, to the 30 people who are hung out, man, I feel like there was a sound, I think. I don't know why they call it sound. I don't know. It was a thing on maybe it was Instagram months back, where it said to my 7 followers, I'm going to the gas station. Anybody need anything? That's how I feel. To the 30 people who are always, it's true in here, man. I appreciate it, guys. But we're gonna jump off of here.
Yeah.
I thank you guys for hanging out with us, and we will see you guys in just a few days. Again, I'm gonna throw this up on it one more time. I know you 34 people have probably seen, but we're gonna be live Wednesday or Thursday on Andy's channel. We're gonna be reviewing your work there as well. And again, come next Sunday, we're gonna be having a topic here about tattoo equipment, what you need, what you don't need to get started in tattooing. Andy's channel is _tattoo_studio. It is scrolling at the bottom screen right now. _tattoo_studio. Go over there, subscribe, and that way you guys are there. You'll get notified when we go live. Also, if you have work that you wanted to get looked at tonight or something you're working on and you'll be done around Wednesday, Thursday, send that anytime you want to the email scrolling at the bottom of the screen. We're gonna be looking at that work on Andy's channel on Wednesday or Thursday. And hopefully we'll get a little more opportunity to go a little more in depth, take our time, and whatnot. Have a good time over there, guys. So nonetheless, that is the plan for the week. And appreciate y'all being here. Take care, and good night.
Good night.